In the 1940s, Wellington bombers, Hurricanes and Martinets rumbled down the runways of RAF Edge Hill. Today, on the same site, 80 years later, it's Rotax, Iame, TKM and many, many more gracing the track of Shenington Kart Racing Club. This is the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix. I am David Sullivan. We will be starting our live stream here with our Junior Max B final. We've just had a false start. They're going to roll round. We've got 12 drivers on this grid, 4 of which will progress into the final 4 places. We've got driver off on the outside. We'll need to grid up the 65, having an excursion. So, Junior Max B will be heading round and into position. Should have Finley Hines on pole position. Not sure we're going to get this one going this time either. The outside train not quite alongside the front, so that'll give me an opportunity to run you through your grid for this Junior Max B final. Finley Hines on pole position with Josh Gorer alongside Oscar Keane and Thomas Butcher on row number 2. Lucy Lovell and Oliver Lomax share row 3 with John Saywood and Lachlan Homer on row number 4. Then it's Autumn Hansford and Jensen Cox, Sava Solonchenko and Matthew Grove making up your 12-kart Junior Max B final grid. Remember, top 4 will progress through to your final 4 positions of your Junior Max final later on today. Into the tram lines we go. Let's have a look for a confirmation. The timer does appear to have commenced on the top of the overhead gantry, and we are away and racing as they head up towards Cafe Corner for the first time. And Finley Hines is holding on to that lead as they run up, and he'll take a defensive line, which we'll see throughout this race meeting on the opening lap as they head up towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time. There's 2 of them on this circuit. We'll see the other one later on when our gearbox karts use the extended loop here at Shenington. It's very, very warm, even though there's not a lot of sun in the sky. We are having some superb racing. The top 3 already on a little bit of a breakaway at the moment as they head round the final corner of Wilkins for the first time. And over the line they come with Finley Hines, Oscar Keane, Lucy Lovell and John Saywood. The top 4 currently on a little bit of a breakaway. And this race all about getting through to that junior final. Don't want your race day to end too soon. We've got a spin for the 97 of Lachlan Homer, who started this race in 8th place. So he's had a spin on the entrance to Cafe Corner. That's going to drop him all the way down the order as they make their way up to the Bruno chicane and out onto the Hanger Straight in this 7-minute plus 1 lap B final for Junior Rotax. You'll see this race will pan out in a very, very different way to what a normal race will, because really here Oscar Keane in 2nd place just needs to push the leader away from the rest of the field to ensure that he progresses through. So don't expect to see too much battling early doors here. You're going to see them trying to push away. What you will see is a lot of battling further down in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place area, because we've got drivers that are going to be keen to get into that 4th place that John Saywood currently occupies. Lachlan Homer's pulled off into the pit lane. We're down to 11 runners in this Junior Max B final. Top 4 progressing. John Saywood currently in that all-important 4th position. And now he's going to have a little bit of a gap because Josh Gorer and Thomas Butcher were having a battle, which has allowed both Butcher and Oliver Lomax to come through up into 5th and 6th respectively. Gorer down into 7th. But now they've got a gap to Lucy Lovell and John Saywood in 3rd and 4th place. The first of 2 B finals on track for you at the moment, with Junior Rotax preceding Junior X30, both with 4 progression slots through to the Junior and Junior Rotax and Junior X30 finals later on. Finley Hines with what will seem like, if you've not watched the stream here at Shenington, is a very defensive line into the final corner at Wilkins. It's not actually, that's the normal racing line. No point going all the way out on the outside of the track. You will have to travel further. Similarly, you'll go quicker, but one negates the other, and you'll generally find the driver will take the much tighter loop up towards that final corner at Wilkins. Corner where We've seen all the action at the end of races here at Shenington previously. One final overtaking opportunity into the final corner. 3.5 minutes, so we're at half race distance. Hans and Keane continuing to push away at the front of this race. Behind them, though, both Lucy Lovell and John Saywood are being closed in by Thomas Butcher in 5th place. Took nearly half a second out of John Saywood on that previous lap. And there he is, the driver in the green, closing in on Saywood in yellow in front of him, the top two. Look to be safe as long as they play this one smart. It's the battle just behind where the important action's going to be at, with Lovell, Saywood and Butcher. Lomax not too far back, and is really just one overtaking opportunity that doesn't go right away from being back on that pack. Lucy Lovell in 3rd, currently holding back John Saywood, but no more down the inside. Saywood goes at Wilkins, he's up, and as we mentioned a moment ago, one overtaking opportunity, and Thomas Butcher's right on the back now of Lucy Lovell, who's in that precarious 4th place. Thomas Butcher with the fastest lap of the race as well, and he's gone very, very wide though, out of Cafe Corner. Run up the Stratford straight, Stratford hairpin, and onto runway. A look over the shoulder from Lovell as she comes to the inside, parks the car half a cart width in. And once again, Oliver Lomax, who crossed the line on the previous lap 8/10 behind, is a lot closer than what he was on the previous lap. There he is in the number 26 machine in the Dean Dukes Racing colours, wide out over start finish. It looks like we could have a change for the lead. We do. Oscar Keane down the inside of Finley Hans as they come over the start finish line. It looks like the overtake was made on the exit of Wilkins, because Hans gave a good kart width to Oscar Keane. 1.5 minutes to go. Interesting to see now whether Hans is interested, as we now see Thomas Butcher down the inside of Lucy Lovell up into the Bruno chicane. And he's now up into the 4th place, and at this moment progressing out of the B final into the Junior Rotax main event towards the end of the day. Wide though, opening the door goes John Saywood. That's going to allow Lucy Lovell down the inside. Briefly she's through into 4th place, and then is eased back out by John Saywood, who's back through and up into 4th place now. Thomas Butcher, the driver who set the fastest lap earlier on, now has a gap, and I get the feeling John Saywood's going to start going defensive. Does, parks the car, but not parking it enough. Down the inside goes Lucy Lovell, who gets it stopped mid-corner. Lovell back down the inside, though will come Saywood. That allows Oliver Lomax to come back through. Lovell alongside, and behind them Josh Gora's getting back in the mix in the 45. 4th down to 7th, split by less than a second. They are running in 2 trains of 2 as it stands. The leaders as they were on the previous lap, but it does look like now Oscar Keane is starting to open up a little bit of a comfort cushion back to Finley Hans. It means he's not going to have to defend that final lap. 3rd place, Thomas Butcher, he's broken away as well. Behind them though, Saywood, Lomax, Lovell and Gora. It's going to be one of 4 progressing through as it stands. Down the inside of Lovell goes Gora into the Stratford hairpin, he's through, and John Saywood now, as the timer clicks down to 0, 1.5 minutes to go, is defending hard to get through this B final and up into the A. Oliver Lomax all over the back as they head up towards Hanger Corner, flat out right, hard on the brakes, and out wide goes Saywood, leaves the gap, as does Gora, as Lovell tries to move down the inside. They'll see the final lap indication on the overhead gantry. Keane, Hans and Butcher, they look secure. Fastest lap by Hans as he closes in back on Oscar Keane, but I don't think he's going to go gung-ho for one additional place in the final. He just needs to get through. Saywood under pressure now from Lomax, and Lomax similarly under pressure from Josh Gora. Helmet tap from Oliver Lomax to Gora, tells Gora the only way that we're going to have a chance here is if you help push me along this back straight. Down Hanger they go for the final time. The leaders out of Wilkins. Keane progresses through and he takes victory in the Junior B final from Finley Hans. It's going to be Thomas Butcher as well. Who's going to appear first? It's John Saywood who makes it through provisionally at the moment. Keane, Hans, Butcher and Saywood are through out of the B final and into the A. with Lomax, Gora, Lovell, Hansford, Solonchenko, Cox and Matthew Grove, the final runner on track. Lachlan Homer retiring a few laps into this race after a spin early doors at Cafe Corner. And we wait for Oliver Lomax. He'll be the driver in fifth place, nervous and waiting to see whether he's going to progress through, depending on any drivers having any issues out there on track. So the first B final is out of the way, and we're going to move very quickly on to our B final in Junior X30. Junior Max B final is rolling out already. We've got 18 drivers hoping to progress through in the top 4 positions. George Hopcroft going off pole position with Jamie Fagan alongside him, Josh Parker and Charlie Myers on row number 2 in front of Jake Brook and Maisie Creed. Row 4 sees Nak Nurberger and G. Zakuchek with Marcus Galanis Sine in front of Jacob Marples. Then it's Daniel Samer and Alex Dodd on row number 6. Dylan Masters and Finlay Allen with Rashid Abdullah and Thomas Hodge on row number 8. Then it's Alfie Fulton and Ellis Morgan Lugg. There's your final runner. Same as it was in Junior Rotax, top 4 are going to progress. The tail of the field are going to need to close up as we head up towards the first corner. And we've got a false start being indicated by the marshal at Marshal Post 2. Which means we should see our drivers heading through the cut-through, which we do with the exception of the top 3. This is going to cause a little bit of a problem now because they've got to go all the way up to the Stratford hairpin to come back down and take up their position at the front. So expect a second roll-round lap here because they're going to have to take up their position at the front and they're not going to have enough time. You can see them there in the background at the moment. So we're going to roll round again. Do expect that we'll have you can still see it there on the overhead gantry, the second of our false start flags. So they're going to roll back through and then your top 3 are going to retake their positions. Hopcroft, Fagan and Parker by the look of the 3 that were on the cut through. So they're just coming through now. They'll come into shot there just as we fade away here at Shenington. So out of the final corner we come, still waiting for them to be closer together, and once again it's another false start here for this Junior Max B final. Which gives myself a little bit of time to do some in-house commentary box admin. Basically means putting my grids in the correct order from earlier on, and to welcome everybody into our live chat. Thank you for getting in touch. Please let me know who you're supporting here for the Shenington SuperPrix. At the moment we watch our juniors just getting into position in this Junior X30B final. Looks like we're a little bit closer together and should be ready to go this time. And we are indeed away and racing in this Junior X30B. Leaders are through the first corner nice and cleanly, as is everybody. No yellow flag at Marshall Post 2. A little bit of contact though on the way out around Pitts Bend. And we are 3 wide on the way up, and there's contact between the 26 and the 63 as Jake Brook gets into the side of Josh Parker. Parker is parked on the outside. The 23 of Jamie Fagan is collateral damage in that one, and they're both going to be out of contention. Maybe out of the race completely, but certainly out of contention for progressing through. Still a yellow flag out at post 3. That's back in now, which means the track is clear. Both drivers back in this race. Whether they elect to continue or peel off into the pits, I'll let you know. But it's Zef Nurberger who has jumped to the front of this one from 7th place, taking advantage of the chaos on the opening lap. And the driver from P7 will lead us round the first lap from Jake Brook and Charlie Myers, Macy Creed and George Hopcroft, the pole sitter. That's your top 5. Creed in that all-important position of P4, the one that will get her through We have had one driver peel off into the pit lane. It looks like it's the 23 of Jamie Fagan who parks the 23 machine. Parker's still going round at the moment, albeit some half a lap down on our leaders. You might be able to catch him in the background of some of these shots. Creed up into third, in front of Charlie Myers. George Hopcroft still in 5th place at the moment. There's your top 4. Hopcroft's got a bit of a gap to close in, half a second up onto the back of Charlie Myers. Still plenty to go though in this race as they move down the inside. Sees the 55 of Alex Dodds up into 6th place with the immediate point forwards that he'd like a little bit of assistance to close up on the back of George Hopcroft in front. I imagine then if you can get past Hopcroft, he'll indicate exactly the same. The top 4 though at the moment, until Charlie Myers completely rips up the script. So that's pushing away from the rest of the field behind at the moment. The gap extending between the top 4 and the rest of the field on that previous lap, which is exactly what they want. As Myers, including that overtake on Maisie Creed, has set the fastest lap of the race as well. Behind them, Dodge, Hopcroft in 5th and 6th. Needing at the moment, for me, to work together. 9/10 of a second is the gap they need to close in, and what they'll be wanting as well is this 4-kart train in front to start a bit of a battle over the positions down the tail end of the field in the Junior X30A final. We've got a little bit of side-by-side action there. So Charlie Myers left the door open ever so slightly on Maisie Creed. Alex Dodds now up into 5th place and setting the fastest lap of the race. 2/10 quicker than Maisie Creed in 4th place as well. And Creed there just indicating to Myers that forward is the direction in which they should be going, because right behind them now, Alex Dodds in the 55, fresh from setting the fastest lap, is closing in. Nürnberger still leading this race, as down the inside goes Charlie Myers on Jake Brook. Brook's going to try and get a bit of a switchback, but right behind them now, Alex Dodds in that 55, who started this race down in 12th place, is 2/10 of a second, and one driver running wide from moving up into P4, and that is Alex Dodds up into P4. Creed going wide. Now Creed's going to come back down the inside into the right-hander up at the Stratford hairpin. And track position-wise, Alex Dodds is going to have it as they head up towards the right-hander. No, he's not. Creed sweeping all the way round the outside as they head up towards the Bruno chicane. It looked like Creed was waving through at one point. Alex Dodds out of 5th place. Behind them, we've got drivers closing up into the positions 6th, 7th and 8th. Still very, very close. The top 3 breaking away. We're going to have a train of 6 though very, very shortly. Change for a lead. Charlie Myers has got past Zef Nürnberger at the front. So Myers, who started in 4th and dropped down the order, has battled back to lead this Junior X30B final. Nürnberger now looking with a bit of a tuck in, as Myers once again indicating that if they work together, they can both get a position in the showpiece at the end of this race weekend. Behind them, Jake Brook as well. Then it's the 4-kart battle behind them. The 71 of Maisie Creed leading this 3-kart train. Taking what appears to be a very defensive line with 1:30 to go. So it looks like from here on out, Maisie Creed will be parking the bus, so to speak. Not parking it enough though. Alex Dodds down the inside into the Bruno chicane and up into the all-important 4th position. And then immediately goes on the defensive round the final corner. Let's see what he's got in the locker. Now he's up into 4th place, whether he's confident in the pace to see whether he can hold on here without defending. Can he break away in the next few corners to not have to defend up towards that Stratford hairpin? Kart will go to the inside, following the white line. Creed will look for the cutback. She can get it. Well parked though by Alex Dodds. We're down to 48 seconds, which means we're going to get round before the last lap board comes out. So we've got 2.5 laps. And already that all-important 4th place is being defended hard by Alex Dodds. Closing up there on Jake Brook, who appears to have made a mistake out of that final corner. He loses 2 tenths on the driver in front, and down the inside, Creed once again may well lose a place here. Holds on though, does Maisie Creed, and even has a little bit of a nibble at Alex Dodds on the way up towards the Stratford hairpin. Top 2, as we mentioned earlier on, looking comfortable. Creed there under pressure, and it looks now like Jake Brook and Alex Dodds have broken away as well. Myers and Nürnberger behind them, Brooks and Dodd. In 3rd and 4th respectively are side by side on exit of Wilkins. On to that final lap now we go, and there is a gap between 4th place Alex Dodds and 5th place Maisie Creed. Dodds is down the inside, up towards the Stratford hairpin on Jake Brook. That's allowed Creed to close up ever so slightly, still 2 or 3 kart lengths. Will Brook try to fight back, or will he tuck in, knowing that 4th place is going to be enough for him, but he's not very quick out of Bruno because he's impeded by Alex Dodds in front, and that may give Maisie Creed one final opportunity to send a move down the inside, and Creed's down the inside into Wilkins. Maisie Creed at the final corner of the lap has progressed through into the B final. The door left open by Jake Brook and Zef Nürnberger. Charlie Myers, Alex Dodd and Maisie Creed are your top 4 in this Junior X30 B final, and Maisie Creed with an opportunistic move on Jake Brook into Wilkins. The final opportunity, it looked like Brook had 2 or 3 kart lengths, but Maisie Creed sending the move down the inside, and it's Nürnberger, Myers, Dodds and Creed provisionally heading through to the Junior X30A final at the end of the race day here at Shenington. The first of our finals is ready, and we've got 2 in 1 for you here at Shenington. We've got Rotax Micro Cadet, and we've got Honda Cadet 200 as well. Max Abrahart will start on pole position in the Micro Max class. Elliot Travis alongside him, with Otto Amy and Hugo Barra alongside on row 2. Row 3 sees Roger Gogler Nathan and Bertie Clark in 5th and 6th respectively, in front of Ronnie Faulkner and Freddie Walker. And then we move into our Honda runners. Luke McGall on pole position in the 15, Oliver Ratton the 22 alongside Ben Bowers and Daniel Hulse on row number 6. Row number 2 for our Honda runners. Prizes galore for our front runners in this one. In our Rotax Cadet class, the winner's going to take home a Vega tyre voucher. We've got Rotax oil for the driver in 2nd place. We've got Jag Rotax kart cover and some Vera tools for the driver in 3rd place as well. Honda, we've got a Vega tyre voucher for the winner, and we've got some Vera tools for the driver in 2nd place as well in our Honda class. So they're heading out. They'll have a rolling start, so it will be a split grid. So don't worry if you can't see the Hondas in the background, because we're going to have a split grid of those. They'll be out off the back of our micros, so we'll catch them very, very shortly. 8 micros, 4 Honda Cadet runners for you in this one. So that micros are going to slow it down, as you can see there on screen. So the first final of the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix makes its way into the tram lines. The lights extinguish. It looks like we're going to have a roll round though at the first time of asking. We do indeed. Marshall Post 2 showing us the green flag with the yellow V chevron on it for a false start. There you can see it on screen for those of you not familiar with the flag. If you want to find some live timing as well as our live stream here at Shenington, you can find that at live.alphatiming.co.uk/SKRC. That's live.alphatiming.co.uk/SKRC. And look in the live chat. Arnold John will be very happy as Maisie Creed managed to make it through at the final corner into that Junior X30 final, all being well following post-race. We're away and racing in the Micromax final. Max Abrahart leading them up towards Cafe Corner for the first time as Honda get underway as well. Keep an eye out on them on the first way round, and it looks like Oliver Ratton is under pressure from Ben Bowers, but he's slotted back into second place. They're still side by side, in fact, as they had to leave the door slightly open on that run up towards the first corner. Back to micros though. Max Abrahart still leading, but it's Otto Iame out of third place. He had the inside berth and he's up into second in that green and white machine. And Abrahart already on a little bit of a breakaway. Iame, those looked quick all weekend here at Shenington. Last time I saw him, he was in a Honda Cadet. It looks like the move over to micro is suiting him very, very well. Abrahart leads them from Iame, Travis Clark. That's your top four. Vara and Goglanathan in sixth. Then it's Ronnie Faulkner and Freddie Walker before our Honda runners of Luke McGall, Oliver Ratton, Ben Bowers and Daniel Hulse. Using that additional bit of track that we've got there at Shenington on the outside, there are micro runners going out onto that rumble strip. Max Abrahart in the RCE machine currently leading the way. On a bit of a breakaway, leaving Bertie Clark a lonely fourth at the moment. It's 11 minutes plus 1 lap final. Otto Iame with the fastest lap in second place, benefiting from the slipstream of Max Abrahart in front of him. Hear them on the brakes up there towards the Stratford hairpin, just getting the kart stopped, and then more so in the background as well. At the moment, Otto Iame on a bit of a push job at the moment, which is what he needs to do, because if you're in a train of three, the driver in second place can be very, very vulnerable, because they go for an overtake for the lead, which they're naturally going to want to as a racing driver, but it often comes with the side effect that if it doesn't quite work out, you're going to be down in third place. Another fastest lap for Otto Iame. Taking a little bit of curb around the left-hander of Park Bend. Abrahart once again using all of the track here at Shenington. The 44 is off and out of his kart. That's Ben Bowers in the Honda Cadet. Perched up on the tyre wall, driver out. I think that's at the outside of the first corner. It is. We've got a red flag. The race will be neutralised with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go as Honda Cadet runner Ben Bowers in the 44 is off on the outside. He was in a battle with Daniel Hulse. And from the commentary position here at Shenington, you could hear the tyre squeal, and as you can see there from Marshall Post 2, the red flag being waved. We are nowhere near the point of declaration here, so the drivers will line up on the start line in single file order. They will be repositioned into the positions very likely from where they crossed the line on the previous complete lap. They will, once we recommence the racing here then at Shenington, what will happen is we'll have a full rolling lap under what we call Battenberg. That'll be a yellow and black quartered flag at half pace. When they come round, they'll then be met with a green flag, and then we'll go racing. Drivers being told to stop their karts, which the moment is fine. The Hondas, though, will need a bit of help. Daniel Hulse just looks like he's just being consoled. So while the red flag is being dealt with, we've got medics on track we'll come back to. We're just going to head to an interview that we carried out yesterday down at Jack Dex Racing. Jack Dex Racing, except Jack Dex isn't here this weekend. He's delegated the running of the team to this man. Scott, first of all, tell us why he's not here.
Jack is currently in Le Mans racing DD2 Masters. So he's left me to run the show.
Doing all right, actually.
Doing very well, yeah. So we had Heat 1, he won. Heat 2, we had a little bit of an incident, finished 13th. Heat 3, I think came P3. And Super Heat, he won it, so he's starting P2 for the final.
Yeah, lovely. He was second in intermediate points overnight, which is good. Yeah. So he's left you in charge. Any messages from him?
It's going quite well. Not really. It's going well. We've got Tessa in P4 in senior Rotax. Mike has had a problem in qualifying, so he's a bit further down the grid, but in the race, and I'm sure he'll come through.
So he's not sending you any messages? You've not had to mute notifications on WhatsApp or anything?
No, I'm sort of letting him get on with his racing, and yeah, we're doing all right around here.
Good stuff. Run the team for a weekend before?
Yeah, so I normally do Shenington here every month, for the last 3-4 months maybe. So yeah, I've got a bit of experience around this track. I used to race it myself a few years ago, so I sort of know my way around here as well. We've got some good mechanics in the team. We've got Jude on Ben Morgan over there, Sam Baker's on Spencer. So we've got quite a good team around us. We've got Sam Heading as well with the driver coaching. So we've got a very strong team around me.
And Shenington as a circuit, the SuperPrix event as a whole, tell us a little bit about what makes it so special.
Yeah, so it's just a one-off event. I think it's the one everyone sort of wants to win who does races here. So you get to run the plate and you get, I guess, a nice trophy. It's also cool to see the historic karts driving about, something you don't get to see every day. So yeah, it's fairly well run. It's quite popular. So yeah, so it's a good little event to come do every year. Good. Drivers that are that you're running this weekend, who's the one to watch? I'd say Mikey Walker in junior Rotax. He won here last month, so he's going to be, yeah, he should be very strong in the racing.
Leading the championship here as well.
Leading the championship as well, yeah. James Testa also in senior Rotax doing very well. Don't forget Iggy over in there in the corner as well. He's very fast. So yeah, it'll be a good race to watch.
Good. So I'm guessing that if at least one of them doesn't take a trophy, then you might not get to run the team again.
We'll see. We'll see.
Good. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
How can I forget to mention Seb Gee in the corner as well. Won here for the last 3 weekends in a row, 3 months in a row, 2 months in a row. He's doing very well. He's the only driver who only gets to come out once a month. Good. So when he comes, he's yeah, very good.
Did a great job of catching that before I wrapped up as well. Well done.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Cheers.
Cheers.
Back here then at Shenington, Ben has just been taken off by the medical team, and we'll be seen to the cart's been cleared from the track as well. So hopefully, if we can get an update later on that Ben's okay, that'll be fine. I'll keep looking out the window. We have strategically placed the ambulances right next to the ice cream van as well here at Shenington this weekend, which as the drivers get taken off, if they need to in the ambulance, it's always good to see the ice cream van right next to it, and it's always good that the driver might be able to wangle one on the way out of the ambulance. So they've done very, very well parking those two next to each other this weekend. As you can see, drivers are just getting themselves ready to go again. Hondas at the back, they'll need a little bit of assistance because they don't have the push button start that the Rotax runners do. They have a pull cord start, so our 3 remaining Honda runners at the back will require some assistance just to get their karts going again, unless the driver's feeling particularly strong. But they don't often start their own karts. Normally they've got parents, helpers, mechanics to do that job. So micro runners at the front just being told when you get going, steady first opening lap. We'll be rolling under a Battenberg. So as soon as the race resumes in terms of the karts moving, the time will start counting down once again, and we'll then do that first lap under Battenbergs as well. So, into the live chat we go. Looks like we've had a few supporting from that previous race with Thomas Christopher Armstrong Hastings. Not a name that you want to get on the back of a football shirt, I can assure you. With a name that long, that's going to cost you about 50 quid in letters. Just saying, come on, Ellis. Charlie Philp there just saying, replying to a comment earlier on. in the thing, and which is good. Daniel Kilpatrick just saying thought it was the top 6 progressing. It may well be. I've been told top 4. If it's top 6, then that's wonderful. It opens up a few more opportunities for our drivers, but I'll let you know later on whether I'm reading out a grid of 34 or a grid of 36. So that'll keep some mystery into the rest of the race day. And then Sandra McGall just messaging in, supporting Luke McGall at the moment from down in Cornwall. Currently leading the Honda race at the moment is Luke. Can't really see him on shot at the moment. He's hid behind the driver in front, so we'll wait for him at the moment. But Luke currently leading the race at the moment in our Honda class in the number 15 kart. And here we go with some helpers for our Hondas. Did say they'd be needed, didn't I? And they've proved me right. So our 3 remaining runners of Luke McGall, Oliver Ratton there in the 22, and Daniel Hulse just pops his visor down in the 53 machine. So we are rolling round once again. So time should start elapsing, I'm guessing, very, very shortly. We'll roll round under the Battenberg flag, which you can see there from the Marshal's post. Luke McGall will send us round as well for our Honda runners. So timing still showing as a red flag, so not elapsing at the moment. We may well just commence the time down when they come over the line and get the green flag. For our drivers, we'll give them around about an additional minute of track time, which is at a premium. Single file restart though, it's not side by side, so they'll go round single file for this, or at least they should do. So they slot back in there. Otto Amy up into second place. Max Abrahart dictating the pace, as is his prerogative as the race leader, as they come out of Wilkins, and they'll power down towards the green flag as you see it flashing on the overhead gantry. And Micromax resume their final with Max Abrahart leaving the door open as they head up towards Cafe Corner. Confident enough in his own pace though, as he sweeps all the way around the outside, holds on to the lead in the run up towards the Stratford hairpin. Elliot Travis now back in the mix here, because prior to the red flag for the incident with Ben Bowers, we had Max Abrahart and Otto Amy on a bit of a 2-kart push away at the front of this Micromax final. They're going to have to do it all again if they want to leave it down to a 2-kart battle for the top step at the end of this one. But Elliot Travis just dropping in to third place at the moment. As it stands, Bernie Clark still going with them in P4, ready to pick up some pieces there. Is it in the 21? It is. So, across the line, still with 7 minutes remaining. The micro final. The top 3 working together at the moment. Elliot Travis holding on to the back of the 2 karts that had managed to break away previously. Abrahart, Amy looking a little bit nervous now with looks over the shoulder. Still over half this race to go for Otto Amy, but previously he's managed to break away and didn't have to defend Elliot Travis behind. And Otto Amy, looks like Max Abrahart went in a little bit deep there. Otto Amy wasn't expecting Max Abrahart to just drop off the racing line ever so slightly, because if he was a little bit closer, he'd have gone with the move down the inside. Abrahart holds on. Not particularly defending up towards Stratford at the moment. The top 3 pushing away as Abrahart goes wide, and Amy has a considered thought of putting the nose down the inside on the run up to the Bruno chicane, but the door firmly closed by Max Abrahart. Amy with another nervous look over the shoulder. Hanger corner, Abrahart this time, once again sweeping wide, and has enough confidence that he's carrying enough speed in there, but in the latter phase of this race, that is an opportunity for a driver to stick a nose down the inside that Max Abrahart won't want to leave. It's inviting. He's got enough pace around that corner, and he's certainly taking the fastest line. But if you give a driver half the sniff of a nose down the inside, maybe not with 5 minutes to go, but minute and a half down to a minute, that's a move that a driver's going to consider at that stage of the race. At the moment, the top three driving this one very conservatively. Just know, though, that they've got more on the agenda. As long as Otto Amy can keep with Max Abrahart. Abrahart very quick out of the Bruno chicane and has opened up a few kart lengths. This could give Elliot Travis the opportunity now. If he can get past Otto Amy as Max Abrahart sets the fastest lap. Amy with another look over the shoulder. The top three, as it stands, Abrahart, Amy and Travis, look like they're the three that are going to stand on the podium here at the Shenington SuperPrix. But we've still got 4 minutes and 1 lap to go. Bertie Clark not out of this yet. It's going to be difficult for him to close back up the just over 2 seconds, but they start battling in front. There's contact, then that's going to give Bertie Clark an opportunity. He's comfortable and clear of Hugo Barra in 5th place at the moment. Hondas currently sees Luke McGall and Oliver Ratton still in a 2-kart battle for the lead. In that one, they've got a Micromax runner between them as Oliver Ratton there holding his head as he comes through. I get the feeling he's probably gone for a move that hasn't quite worked out. We are just surmising. Either that or there's been a little bit of contact, and you can see that his nose is pushed in, but looks to be running okay at the moment as the top two in Honda get themselves a little bit of screen time on the run up to Stratford. McGall still leading from Oliver Ratton. I'll keep you up to date with that one as Otto Amy once again tries to take advantage as Abrahart leaves the door open. Otto Amy with 2 minutes and 55 to go, and now Abrahart with the first look over the shoulder at the karts behind, and I think that's because of Otto Amy's nibble down the inside into the final corner. We'll see whether Otto Amy takes it up a notch in his levels of overtake, because later on in the race you just put the nose down the inside, you don't need to brake so much, just ease off the throttle, use the side pod to find your way through up into Wilkins. Needs a good run out of the Bruno chicane, and this is about as close as the top three have been on the run up round Hanger Corner, and I get the feeling Abrahart's not going to be anywhere near as wide he is. In fact, this time Abrahart late on the brakes once again. Otto Amy with a bit of a neck jolt there as Elliot Travis reminds him of his presence with a little nudge into the back of the 77 machine in front of him. 2 minutes to go. Drivers lapping in the 49-second mark, so they'll get 4 more laps in here, 3 plus the final lap for our micro runners. Honda as well. Leaders won't be caught, that's for sure. Still, it's Luke McGall leading from Oliver Ratton. You can tell when they come past the commentary box, there's a different tone as the Honda 4-stroke machinery makes their way round, particularly with the top two being in unison of Luke McGall and Oliver Ratton together. Abrahart again with the wide line. Otto Amy's tried a few times, not as forcefully as I think he probably needs to be as we head down towards the final minute of this race. There'll be 3 more laps, including the one they're on, so effectively 2.5 when they get round the Stratford hairpin and head back onto the runway straight towards the Bruno chicane. Interesting that the Hondas are right on the back of Ronnie Faulkner in the 43. That's going to provide them with an extra dynamic as they have closed in on that previous lap by around about a second on the 43 of Faulkner. There they are. They've managed to find a way through, and they've managed to find a way through by staying together, which is handy. That's going to give them a steady race towards the end here. On to what will be the penultimate lap. here at Shenington, the first final of the SuperPrix. And Otto Iame now and Max Abrahart, the lap times are going to start to drop now because Abrahart's going to be taking a much more defensive line. Iame looked like he had the run and Aime's alongside, but Max Abrahart defends it very, very hard. Down the runway straight. And Otto Iame with a little bit of snap oversteer as they go through the Bruno chicane. He's been helped out somewhat though by Elliot Travis, who's helped him along down that straight before popping out of the slipstream. Couldn't draw alongside, but Otto Iame, who made a bit of an error on exit with that oversteer, helped out by Elliot Travis. It's kept them both in the mix here on the back of Max Abrahart. Final lap in Micromax here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Max Abrahart in the 61 has led this from, at the moment, lights to right now, including having to do 2 starts in this one and hold off Otto Iame and Elliot Travis alongside. Travis thrown a lifeline by the red flag, and Otto Iame's alongside, and Otto Iame will lead them into the Bruno chicane, but all the way round the outside goes Max Abrahart. Then Travis is down the inside of Otto Iame. Iame led for about 10 metres alongside Max Abrahart up towards the Bruno chicane. Abrahart, though, will lead now with 2 corners to go. Round Wilkins, and then the final looping left corner. And the first final of the Shenington SuperPrix is won by Maximilian Abrahart from Elliot Travis and Otto Iame. Your top 3 split by less than half a second. Otto Iame clearly not happy with Elliot Travis, but he went for the move. We said it earlier on. Often, if you go for the victory and you're in a train of 3, you may well come out in P3. And that's exactly what has happened to Otto Iame. The top 3 move into their areas. In Hondas, Luke McGall takes victory here at the Shenington SuperPrix from Oliver Ratton and Daniel Hulse, your top 3 in your Honda Cadet class. Going to move on very, very quickly because we've got a very, very interesting Iame Waterswift restricted final coming up for you here at Shenington. Chester Forks, the current championship leader here at Shenington, will start this one on the front row alongside poleman Daniel Ferguson in the 15. Alfie Davidson and Oscar Kenny are going to be on row 2, with Alessandro Salas and James Root on row 3. Philip Pettigrew and Henry Algar are on row number 4. Harry Farville and Reggie Chandler on row number 5, in front of Harry Chapman and Lewis Williams-Mabs. Then it's Hugo Williamson and William Bennett, Rex Pooley and Theo Thack, with Darcy Durnford and Felix Booker on row number 9. Frank Morris and Oliver Bonser complete your 20 kart Iame Waterswift restricted grid. Let's see if we can get going at the first time of asking, and we can't. We're a little bit too quick, and the tail of the field hasn't caught up, so hopefully they see the flag, and they all have, and they're all going to go through the cut through. Yes, they have all made it, just one of them skimming the tyres. But of our 20 runners here, now being told to slow down, it's going to be very, very interesting. The top 2 from the club championship here at Shenington, Chester Forks and Alessandro Salas in this one as well. Harry Chapman, the reigning Bambino champion, up into Iame Waterswift restricted, and including the leader of the British Championships as well, Alfie Davidson in the 46, going off the inside of row number 2. It's a very, very strong and competitive Iame Waterswift grid, and we are away and racing at the second time of asking. Leading us round, Daniel Ferguson, the poleman, but off the second row on the inside, Alfie Davidson up into second place. Everybody's through nice and cleanly. They'll white line it up towards the first corner, and Davidson already trying to indicate to Ferguson that he wants to push forward. In doing so, leaves the door open, and it looks like that's the 28 of Alessandro Salas from 5th place is up into second. Great opening lap for the 28 of Alessandro Salas. It's the top 5 with a bit of a gap, running up towards Wilkins for the first time in this 11 minutes plus 1 lap Iame Waterswift restricted final the first of our E-plates here at Shenington. And out on the outside, Daniel Ferguson goes from first to fourth in the blink of an eye. Salas down the inside, and he had no chance of getting back in. Alfie Davidson and Oscar Keeney alongside. And that means that Ferguson can't get in. Davidson then will go down the inside, and Salas goes from first to third in a corner. And we're going to see this all throughout this race, despite Alfie Davidson indicating that he'd like a bit of assistance and maybe one or two corners of single file action to try and move them away from the rest of the field. But Davidson and Oscar Kenny now jump from third on the previous lap up into first and second respectively. They were third and fourth when they crossed the line last time out. Behind them, Chester Fawkes and James Root complete your top six, with Philip Pateru, and then it's Henry Algar, Harry Farvel and Hugo Williamson completing your top 10. And we're top 8 all the way down to Chapman, who started in 11th, now up into P8, running pretty much nose to tail. You'll see Chapman, there he is with the yellow helmet in the background. He's the reigning Motorsport UK Bambino champion, choosing to go down the Iame Waterswift route. This is the first of your E-plate races here at Shenington this weekend. Drivers will be allowed to run the letter E in lieu of a race number, denoting them as the English champion. Iame tyre voucher for your winner, including a £500 Iame voucher. We've got move up there for fourth place. There's Daniel Ferguson up into third, the pole man and early race leader. Fastest lap though for Alfie Davidson, being pushed along at the moment by Oscar Kenny. They'll be keen to turn this into a two-kart battle for the tyre voucher and the Iame voucher at the front. £250 Iame voucher for second place, 150 for third, and then we're going to have hats and t-shirts as well for the top three. And we've got an Iame voucher for the £250 for our leading novice at the moment. That looks to be Felix Booker in 17th place. We've also got goodie bags as well, courtesy of Red Bull. I had a quick look through those yesterday with Graham Smith here from Shenington Kart Club. Some nice goodies in that bag as well. So it's not just the bag, it's filled with some stuff as well. Race winners will be looking to take them home. Oscar Kenny now out of second place, setting the fastest lap, right up on the back of Alfie Davidson. Almost identical lap times. Kenny with a 49.61, Davidson 49.62 on that previous lap. Down the inside goes James Roots. Looks like that's on Chester Fawkes for fifth place. They're still side by side as they run up towards the Bruno chicane. Could have even been Philip Pateru going for sixth place on James Roots. There we see them in the background, just coming into shot, still side by side, up Hanger and Wilkins. I'm sure they'll sort themselves out round Wilkins. It normally sorts the drivers into single file. At the front though, the top two, another 2/10 on their push away from Daniel Ferguson. Ferguson needs a bit of a wingman at the moment. Can that wingman be Chester Fawkes? He was a little bit quicker than Ferguson on that previous lap. We'll need to close up and just try and push him then onto the back of Alfie Davidson and Oscar Kenny. At the moment, they're just trying to open up enough of a gap so that on the final 2 or 3 laps of this race, they can have a two-kart battle for the lead. Andy Glenn in the live chat just asking how long's left of this race. They will be racing till just gone 5 o'clock. All being well, we have had a red flag delay, so we might be out to around about 20 past to 5:30, but we've still got plenty of time. This is the second final for you here today, so still plenty more, as Alessandro Salas in 6th place sets the fastest lap of the race with a 49.5. At the moment, this race is currently being run a little bit like Noah's Ark. We're 2 by 2 by 2. Davidson and Kenny, Ferguson and Fawkes, and then Salas and Roots. But I get the feeling they're in a different order now, because it looked like Salas was going to be down the inside on the previous corner. And indeed, we get confirmation there on the screen of Alessandro Salas moving up into 5th place. This is the wingman that Daniel Ferguson needed. Chester Fawkes now in the 38. Let's have a quick look on live timing when they cross the time this the loop this time round to see whether they are indeed closing up. They are, but it's only fractions. They're going to need a little bit more, but they've got 5 minutes to do it. And I can guarantee that Oscar Kenny is not going to sit behind Alfie Davidson and drive for second place. It's just a case of whether Ferguson and Fawkes decide to battle before Davidson and Kenny do. Expect this race to plateau a little bit now for the next 2 minutes or so. Thankfully, it doesn't look like anybody's gone for an overtake, just as I said that. Although it does appear that Chester Fawkes, so James Roots and Alessandro Salas are back in their original order from earlier on, with Roots now back in front of Alessandro Salas. The Stratford hairpin. He closed in once again, but it really was fractions. Kenny, to give you an idea, 49.69. Ferguson 49.64 on the previous lap. So they're getting gradually closer, but the time is going down at a fair rate of knots. It'll be 3:30 plus 1 lap when they cross next time round. Ferguson and Fawkes just need to keep running together as they are and wait for Davidson and Kenny, mainly Kenny in fact, because Alfie Davidson won't have a choice in the matter of when Oscar Kenny decides that he's going to turn this one into a scrap for victory here at Shenington and that coveted E plate. Good battle going on further down, just outside the top 10. We've got Chandler, Tack, Williamson, Bennett and Mabs all nose to tail. Keeping an out of them out of the commentary box window, but they are very rarely in the same order when they come round the cafe corner, lap on lap. James Roots has broken away slightly from Alessandro Salas, but will need those in front to commence an almighty scrap if he has a chance here of a podium. Chester Fawkes still pushing in 4th place. Yes, he wants a podium, but he doesn't want 3rd place. And his only chance of a victory is to keep pushing Daniel Ferguson towards the front here. Leaders eked out a 10th on the previous lap. Pretty much negates what Ferguson and Fawkes have reeled in over the previous 5. 2 minutes to go. Very similar to our micros previously, running in that sort of 49-second mark. Davidson now with that look over the shoulder. Back to the 48 of Oscar Kenny. Kenny at the moment doesn't seem ready for an attack, but that's what he's going to want. No point sticking half a nose down the inside and alerting Alfie Davidson to the fact that he wants to ramp this up to the next level. Behind them still Ferguson and Fawkes. They took nearly 2 tenths out. That's their biggest gain so far in this race. Let's see where we're at when they cross the line. It's going to be around about the 1 minute mark, which means we're going to have 3 minutes to go. So 3 laps to go. They'll get round before it elapses. 1 more and then the extra lap at the end for that +1. Again, Ferguson and Fawkes taking a 10th out of the leaders. They're down to 7 tenths, and that's just going to be one overtaking opportunity. A few defensive corners maybe from Alfie Davidson in the 46. Through the Bruno chicane. Davidson with a look over the shoulder, hasn't particularly defended, neither has Kenny particularly attacked so far. Second and third, so third and fourth are closing in once again. I can guarantee it this time round. They are getting closer. 2 laps to go here in the Shenington SuperPrix Iame Waterswift Restricted Final. The first of your E-plate races. And Alfie Davidson, as they run up towards the Stratford hairpin now, will park the kart on the inside, then sweeps out just to try and maximise the exit, followed by Oscar Kenny. Another look over the shoulder by Davidson, followed very quickly by another. Lap and a half to go. Down the hanger straight, another look over the shoulder from Alfie Davidson. The hanger straight, but hanger corner, not really a corner where you'll see often. Davidson's gone hard in on the brakes. Davidson's gone wide, and through goes Oscar Kenny. Alfie Davidson hard on the brakes. You just saw the kart sliding wide there, and Oscar Kenny moves through. Last lap board is out, and Daniel Ferguson is right on the back as well. 4 karts for 3 podium places, 1 E-plate, and Oscar Kenny will lead for the first time here at Shenington. Up towards hanger corner. Davidson goes wide to try and get the exit, but then finds Daniel Ferguson on the inside. Ferguson's could be up into second. No, slots back in. Alfie Davidson up towards the Bruno chicane for the final time. Oscar Kenny, as it stands, has led 1 lap of the Shenington SuperPrix, but it could be the lap that matters. Round hanger, hard on the brakes they go, up towards, and Davidson's gone down the inside. Davidson sideways. Davidson's down to 4. Oscar Kenny crosses the line to win the Shenington SuperPrix E-plate in Iame Waterswift Restricted from Chester Forks. Daniel Ferguson and long-time leader Alfie Davidson is out of the podium positions. He went for the lead, did what he had to do on the final corner, but he comes out in 4th place in front of James Roots, Alessandro Salas and Henry Algar in P7. Then there's a gap back to Philip Pateru, Henry Fovell and Harry Chapman. Completing your top 10, your leading novice is Felix Booker in P17. So that's Iame Waterswift Restricted are complete. We move on very, very swiftly to KZ2. Out onto track will be led for KZ2 by Ella Stevens. Then it's going to be Charlie Cole with Oliver Stewart and Nat Thomas, with Mark Keane, who's just been slow getting away, so he's going to have to get into position, with AJ Arnold in 6th place on row 3. Jamie Perry and Stephen Loggin are on row number 4. Simon Harris and Ryan Green are on row number 5. Field making their way up and round. One thing you'll note here, KZ2, they get 2 rolling up laps. So don't think that we're letting them go or we've had a false start. We haven't. KZ2 get 2 rolling up laps, and then we'll stop on the start line for a standing start in KZ2. So they take 2 laps to get their tyres up to temperature. It's another E-plate race. The winner of KZ2 will receive TCR family VIP tickets plus Vera Tools. So the family tickets courtesy of TCR UK, Stuart Lines, and then 2nd place and 3rd will receive Vera Tools vouchers as well. Actually, might actually be the tools, not necessarily vouchers, we'll see. I don't get a prize, unfortunately, so drivers will slow to a point here, they should do anyway, and then they'll probably just do a practice launch away before they get themselves into position. Now, difficult thing here for our front runners is that they are pretty much, by the time they get going, they're turning left here at Shenington around Park Bend, so offset grid positions, as you can see. The front 2 to the right of our screen, then the second 2 in the gaps in between, and we are away and racing. Ella Stevens in the 5 will lead us round the first corner in front of Charlie Cole. The top 2 in this 11 minutes plus 1 lap. KZ2 final. Looks like we've only got 8 of the 10 runners that we had on the entry list, so we'll try and pick out who might be missing, or any drivers that have had any problems getting away. Doesn't look like anybody's peeled off into the pits, so Ella Stevens will lead us through the Bruno chicane, followed by the 26th of Charlie Cole. Through the rest of the order when they cross the timing loop now. So it is Stevens from Cole, and it's going to be AJ Arnold with Oliver Stewart, Nat Thomas, Jamie Perry, Simon Harris and Stephen Loggin. There your 8. You'll also notice that we are going all the way up here around the second of our 2 Stratford hairpins. Short track at Shenington, just over 1,000 metres. The gearbox circuit, which we're using, we'll also be using later on, I think, the 210 National as well. And they're out on track. It should follow this race, actually, which means our camera op won't have to do too much running. I don't like to work too hard here at Alpha Live. But it does turn out that we've actually got an additional camera operator, so we've sent him up there, which means the other camera operator is going to have a little bit of a break. So we have got a camera operator there now, and then we move to our second camera operator, which initially we weren't going to have. Oh, down the inside there, looks like that's the 22 of Oliver Stewart, trying to find a way past AJ Arnold for 3rd place, did so. Although the fact that I had to go ooh says a lot about the overtake there. I don't think Arnold really saw it coming, as that looks like Arnold in the background now drops down to 5th place. Nat Thomas taking advantage and up into P number 4, and then Arnold just needs a bit of a reset as he went round wide and out onto the rumble strip down the back straight. The difficult thing here, and hopefully you'll see it as we pan round, the drivers, they come out, and as they head up, the track actually comes in ever so slightly, but they don't have to go really near it. It's a lot tighter up this far end, not as they run down, but on the other side of the track it comes in. And you can see on the outside down the left the additional bit of curve and additional bit of runoff where our short track takes our drivers. Around Wilkins, the top 2 breaking away. 3rd place though, the final step on the podium. Still up for grabs here at the moment. Oliver Stewart and Nat Thomas. Ella Stevens with the fastest lap, 44.85. 10th and a half quicker than Charlie Cole in 2nd place at the moment. Oliver Stewart there on that run up. Just looked like he just reconditioning his hands on the steering wheel. Not quite sure what for, but in doing so has lost himself a bit of time to Nat Thomas in 4th place, who's closing back in. Right-hander at Wilkins, and down the inside goes Nat Thomas. Oliver Stewart thought he had enough space and time to take the faster line round that corner, and then as he went to turn in, he found Oliver Stewart parking the kart on the inside of him. 4 minutes in, 7 to go, plus 1 lap. Ryan Mikulev asking, when is senior Rotax on? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, around about 4 or 5 races for that one. Iame Waterswift just done. Now we're on to gearbox with KZ2. We're following that up with 210 National, Iame Waterswift with their unrestricted class, TKM, and then into our Rotaxes. We'll start with the Rotax Inter. Then we go to Formula Libra. I'll explain what that is when we come to it. And then we go into our Senior Max Final, which will be race 38 of 40 here at Shenington. Will be followed by our 2 classes that had B finals earlier on, Junior Rotax and Junior X30 as well. So you have got a little bit of time if you're sticking around for Senior Rotax, but don't get too far. We've got driver off and into pit lane. It's Simon Harris in the 76s. You'll see on timing there as Stephen Loggin just crosses the timing loop that Simon Harris drops down into 8th place and retirement. So we're down to 7 runners. We'll follow the battle for 3rd place in the final step on the podium with Nat Thomas and Oliver Stewart here at Shenington. Possibly the class that you'll see really just how much of a speed change they have and how much grip these karts have got by how quickly they go into that Wilkins hairpin and actually look like they're just going to grind to a halt on a Wilkins hairpin. It's very deceiving. They look like they've got a problem. They slow down that much and they grip up and you can just hear it. And then they get on the power as Oliver Stewart clatters the inside curve up at the far end at the Stratford corner, and it's not a very inviting curve, that one, because it's cut halfway through. Actually, it's done in 2 sections. That's where you saw his kart rise up. Here's the corner I was talking about, almost where they slow to a point and then just they get on the power that quickly that they can effectively. They don't have to carry the speed that our smaller karts have earlier on, you can see. And, they don't have to rely quite so much on carrying the speed around the corner. They can get it stopped, get on the power early, can our KZ2 karts. Oliver Stewart does seem to be edging closer to the back of Nat Thomas on this lap. His previous lap, Thomas had a 10th on the back of he opened up a gap on the previous lap back to Oliver Stewart. Let's see whether Stewart closes in on this one. It was just over 3/10 on the previous lap when they crossed the line. Stewart does indeed close in ever so slightly. Out at the front though, Ella Stevens with a gap of 1.33 seconds. He's continuing to turn the screw. 2/10 quicker than Charlie Cole on the previous lap and sets the fastest lap of the race, 44.59 for Ella Stevens. Spread out nicely, particularly if you're one of the top 2. Nat Thomas still under a little bit of pressure in 3rd place, but once again starting to open up a bit of a gap to the rest of our field. Thank you to everyone that's got in touch with our live chat. We've got 210 National coming up next. And then after that, we've got a full grid of Iame Waterswift, 34 of those here at the Shenington SuperPrix, both of which are E-plate races, as is this one. Ella Stevens there, number 5, out of the Bruno chicane. Continuing to open up that gap at the front. It was 1.4 last time. I think it's going to be a bit quicker this time. It is a 1.8 now out the gap. 4/10 quicker for Ella Stevens. Still didn't set the fastest lap, although did set a lap time absolutely identical to her previous lap time. It's another 44.59 for Ella Stevens. The consistency of Stevens in the last 4 laps has seen her set 4 lap times all within 1/10 of a second. Lap 8, 44.69, 44.59, the fastest lap on lap 9, 44.64, followed then by another 44.59, identical by Ella Stevens, and she sets a 44.69 this time. So that's twice Stevens has set identical lap times, and the last 5 laps inside 1/10 of a second of each of her lap times for Ella Stevens. The gap out now to over 2 seconds, and she is well on her way to winning the E-plate here and the Shenington SuperPrix. Nat Thomas under pressure now as he makes a slight error on the run up to Stratford and had the kart with a bit of a Scandinavian flick halfway round it. Now sees Oliver Stewart closing up this time round. to battle for the podium. As through goes Oliver Stewart on exit of Cafe Corner. And it looked like Nat Thomas took a tighter line, and round the outside goes Oliver Stewart with a super move, and now he's starting to open up a bit of a gap already from Nat Thomas. See whether Thomas has got anything to come back at Oliver Stewart here, or whether Stewart was just playing it long. He's kept the tyres for the final few laps. Ella Stevens heading round Cafe Corner with 20 seconds on the clock, so this will be the penultimate lap for Ella Stevens. Gap is out to 2.4 seconds now for our race leader. Wait, Stevens coming to shot. There we are. She'll be greeted by the final lap indication on the overhead gantry as the 5 machine makes its way round for what will effectively be a very, very fast ceremonial lap for Ella Stevens as she runs up the Stratford Straight towards the hairpin, out onto runway here at Shenington. One of a number of kart clubs based on former airfields here, alongside Fulbeck and Bolton and others. Ella Stevens, though, out of Wilkins for the final time to win the 2024 KZ2 Shenington SuperPrix and take the E-plate as well. Ella Stevens takes victory by nearly 4 seconds from Charlie Cole. And then it's going to be Oliver Stewart, the final driver on the podium, got past Nat Thomas with a few laps to go. That's your top 4. AJ Arnold, P5. We await then Jamie Perry, the final runner. Stephen Loggin and Simon Harris both retiring for the end of the race here at Shenington. We'll move on very, very quickly, though, to a very large grid of 210 National. Grid on screen then sees your pole man, Lionel Sifflet. He's alongside Robert Perkins on the front row with Dan Burry and Paul Fowler on row 2. Nathan Caddick and Stuart Henry are on row number 3. Then it's Russell Hopes and Tony Berry with Thomas Stone and Ray Sloan on row number 5. Mark Shepherd and Oliver Shelley on row number 6. Row 7 sees Peter Masson and Chris Callahan, with William Shelley and John Hutton in front of Sean Stoiner and Malcolm Caddick on row number 9. Row 10 sees David Skull and Michael Owen, and then it's Anthony Cox, your only driver on row number 11, 21st place. So 210 National making their way round another E-plate race, and another race where the race winner will take a TCR family VIP ticket, which I believe will be at Silverstone alongside some Vera Tools, with second and third also taking Vera Tool prizes as well. We'll have 2 rolling up laps for 210 National, hence why they're not in the formation. As you can see, a mix of karts in this race, all complying to the same set of regulations, but showing a very, very colourful an array of racing. You can just see as well the amount of cars in the background. That's the overflow, that's the car park of people that have just come to watch the Shenington SuperPrix and have a walk round. It's probably the busiest that we've seen a paddock here at Shenington. All the historic karts based on the grass paddock, which you'll see as they come round Wilkins and the final corner. Then paddocks A, we've got the other paddocks as well, paddocks A and B being taken up by our other teams as well. The grandstand there on the far side, the That's where all your marshals will go, sorry, all your mechanics will go later on, giving the valuable hand signals to their drivers, which almost certainly none of them, as they're facing forward with the head down, will be able to see, but nonetheless, we still get valuable hand signals from our mechanics. 210s then into position. Marshall waiting for them on the start line. They'll settle into position. Just having a quick dip into live chat. We've had welcome to Ella and Charlie, the top two in our KZ2 class. Also, Charlie Philpon asking when Junior X30 is. They are one of our two final classes. In fact, our final class had just gone 5 o'clock because they had a B final earlier on. So we have to give the B final runners that progress through their chance to get their machinery ready for the A final that they progressed through to, the top few runners. So we've got a problem for the 53 in 210 National. That's David Skull, who was due to start from P19. So we're just being held while that kart is clear, and we are indeed away and racing in a cloud of smoke. And Lionel Siflet, the number one, makes his way through and leads Thomas Stone round the first corner. Behind them, Robert Perkins in the number 5 machine. Everybody is cleanly round the first couple of corners here at Shenington. We are down to only 20 runners though, with David Skull already out of this race. They run up towards the Stratford hairpin again on the gearbox loop here at Shenington. Lionel Siflet leads the way then. Drivers will notice with very different seating position. We've got high backs on the seats, giving them a little bit more back support all the way up their back towards the back of their neck and the bottom side of their helmet as well. Lionel Siflet will lead us through them for the first time from Robert Perkins, and then Dan Burry in the number 5 machine. With then it's Paul Fowler, Nathan Caddick. Wide goes the number 8 of Ray Sloan in 9th place as he comes out of Cafe Corner. So we've got Caddick in 5th, Thomas Stone in P6. Then it's Stuart Henry down the inside. Trying to pick out where we were with that one. It looked like it was Thomas Stone in the number 2, down the inside of Nathan Caddick for 5th place. Up at the loop for the Stratford corner. Looks like Nathan Caddick's got it back though. Caddick back into 5th place. Thomas Stone having a nibble in that orange kart down the inside, but he's now under pressure from the 4 of Stuart Henry. So on the clock there, 9 minutes to go. That's where our drivers are told as well when the last lap is. So one thing I'm noting, particularly out the commentary box window, we might be able to pick it up as well from our static camera down at Marshall Post 6, looking back towards Cafe Corner next time round, is the number of different lines in which our drivers are taking out of that corner in this 210 National class differs greatly to what we've seen in KZ2 and pretty much every other class here as well that goes out into the relief road. Drivers that come into the pit lane if they've got a problem and then can rejoin the track. We saw it yesterday a lot in practice. If drivers had a problem that was easily fixable, they would come in and then there's an exit back on where they could rejoin the circuit. So we run up the 27 now under pressure from the 4, but the 4 preoccupied has left the door open and allows Thomas Stone. Here you'll see a lot of differing lines. They're not going all the way out. The white line on the outside the relief road, you'll see drivers taking a much tighter line on the way out of that corner. It's up towards Stratford, all the way round the outside of Nathan Caddick has gone Stuart Henry, but Caddick will have track position on the run up towards the Bruno chicane. Stuart Henry once again with a round the outside job is through and up into 5th place, a top 5 position then for Stuart Henry. Lionel Siflet at the front until now, because off camera we've had a change for the lead. Robert Perkins has managed to find a way through, but almost immediately Lionel Siflet is back through. So they were side by side, over start finish, split by 0.01 of a second, 1,000 between your top two as they crossed the line that time round. Back through once again has gone, no it hasn't, I thought that was Robert Perkins, the two cars in very, very similar colours, one though with a nose panel down the bottom, one without. Run round Wilkins, heading towards that half race mark, and once again that was Sifflet under pressure from Perkins. Perkins trying to stick the kart round the outside. Dan Berry though behind them has closed up by half a second on the previous lap. I get the feeling he's got a bit of a surprise attack coming from the 5 of Dan Berry here. Past the first Stratford hairpin, they run up to the far end as Lionel Sifflet parks the number 1 machine and will do it again on the run up towards the Bruno chicane. If Robert Perkins will try and move down the inside there, the mid part of the corner later on. There is Perkins alongside Lionel Sifflet, and there's a little bit of side pod contact. Sifflet will have track position. Dan Berry's going to come down the inside, as he know, thought he was going to get alongside on exit, but the driver in 3rd place still there, ready to pick up some pieces. Lionel Sifflet defending from Robert Perkins. Perkins with the move down the inside earlier on into Cafe Corner. Lap traffic now is going to come into play as they come up on the back of William Shelley as they run up to the Bruno chicane. It's going to split the two leaders because Lionel Sifflet's managed to get through. Robert Perkins hasn't. Perkins, who officially led the start of this lap, but there's a gap now of what's going to be nearly a second by the look of things from Lionel Sifflet back to Robert Perkins, and Perkins coming under pressure from Dan Berry as well as they cross the line. Nailed on 1 second. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. More lap traffic though for our race leader now to contend with as they find their way past what appears that time to be Chris Callaghan in the 30, but we'll confirm that when they come round. I believe it was, because John Hutton was a lap down on the previous. They run up to the Bruno chicane, and this time it's Lionel Sifflet that's been boxed in behind the traffic, this time of Mark Shepherd. So the blue flag is out. Down the inside goes Robert Perkins. Let's see whether Perkins can benefit from the traffic in front. He, of course, still has to make his way through that traffic as well. I don't know. I think it looked like identical lap times because the timing didn't quite update when we expected it to, but Perkins now only 2/10 as Sean Stonier in the 22 out of 11th place has been given a mechanical flag. Try and keep an eye out as to what that may well be for. So Thomas Stone's come past the commentary box, so we're expecting to see Stonier come in soon. Let's see whether he peels off into pit lane or whether he does an additional lap in the 22 machine, or whether he's off already. Could well be already off track. So keep an eye out for him. He could have parked the kart somewhere if he's got a problem. Currently still showing as P11, the only driver currently on the lead lap, as the 30 going slowly up the far end at the moment is, find out who the number 30 is. It's Chris Callaghan. There he is, down in 17th now, having had a problem. There he is. You can see slowly going down the runway straight. Arm up in the air. I think we might have a yellow flag. No, we have a problem for Robert Perkins out of 2nd place. Perkins with his arm up, peeling off to the inside, and Robert Perkins, who looked set for a podium here at Shenington in the 210 National E-Plate at the SuperPrix, retires from 2nd place. Dan Berry then up into 2nd. It could be Paul Fowler now up into 3rd. He's some 15 seconds behind Dan Berry, and he could be on for a podium here. In the number 6, he's got a gap back to the 2 of Thomas Stone. The 30 of Chris Callahan's peeled off to retirement, and Malcolm Caddick's out of this race as well. Where's that kart park? That's on the outside of the run up towards the Stratford hairpins. Waved yellow flags means no overtaking, as the kart being pulled away. He's going to try and get that as far away as he can. I think once he does, he'll just need to move himself to safety as well. Ryan O'Sifley then, with 1 minute and 45 to go. Just has to navigate the traffic cleanly. Still not as comfortable as he'd have liked it, but as soon as they caught the lap traffic, managed to find his way through. There's now Sean Stoney has been given a black flag for not adhering to the mechanical flag handed out earlier on. I'm going to have a look out of the right-hand side commentary box window for the driver of the 22, because he has now peeled off into pit lane. We'll try and figure out what the problem is. He's still got both his side pods, he's still got his rear bumper attached, and he's still got his chain guard. So all the usual suspects that us commentators look for when a mechanical flag has been handed out have been ticked off. So we are none the wiser as to why Sean Stoney has been given the mechanical and then ultimately the black flag. Got a green flag down the back straight, so it looks like we may well have another driver off down towards the hangar corner. So Malcolm Caddick gets some screen time, not for what he'd liked, unfortunately, as he's retired down the far end up at the Stratford hairpin. So what we will have at the end of this race is a little bit of a clean-up for our 210 National, particularly for that kart right the way up the far end. That's got a fair distance to travel back into the pit lane. So we're down to 0 on the timer in the top left-hand corner. That's Robert Perkins on screen. Still the holder of the fastest lap with a 51.17, or so 51.71. But we're on to the final lap now. Lionel Sifley leading by, it looked like was 2 seconds, but now it's showing that Dan Berry is leading this race, on timing at least. There he is in the 5. We've missed it off screen. Lionel Sifley's obviously had a problem in this one. Having a look at timing. Not quite sure what's happened there. He's just been losing time the last couple of laps. It's showing that Dan Berry is leading this race at the moment. Looks like in the number 5, so we'll keep an eye out on who's coming round the corner. Next, it looks like it is Dan Berry as we head up towards the start line. There's the 5 of Dan Berry, who will cross the line to take the checkered flag and win the Shenington SuperPrix in 210 National and take the E-plate as well. We'd focused on the rest of the field and Lionel Sifley, who we thought was leading this race, and then Dan Berry, right at the end, has managed to find a way through on Lionel Sifley, and Dan Berry on lap 12 with 2 to go, moves up towards the front. I'm just having a quick look at Lionel Sifley's lap times towards the end of that. He was dropping down, losing around about a second a lap towards the end of that race. He'd been lapping in the 52s, then in the 53s, then in the 54s. So clearly problems for Lionel Sifley towards the end of that race, but Dan Berry taking the victory from Lionel Sifley and Paul Fowler complete your top 3 in the 210 National E-plate here at the Shenington SuperPrix. 210s are making their way in. We've got carts to be collected from the far extremities of the circuit, including all the way up at the far end. But we've got 34 Iame Waterswifts to run through and their grid as well. So we'll cut to our next race. It's Iame Waterswift. Back on the short circuit once again then here at Shenington. We're going to take 200 metres off. And Austin Newstead in the 74 will start from pole position. Jarlath Sayer alongside on row 2. Finley Lines, not his normal kart. We'll talk about that in a moment. He starts P3 with George Clark alongside Freddie Wood and Sukman Kahira on row number 3. Then it's Henry Clark and Blair Smith, Charlie Clough and Harry Williams, Austin Gibbon and Jensen Ackerman on row number 6. Night measures, Colby Patterson, Harley Musk and Ariane Neyer are in front of Christian Kobe and Max Mason on row number 9. The 20 completed by Millen Tomlinson and Callum Graham in front of Grayson Wortley and Luca Holmes-Ballack, with George House and Johnston Stewart on row 12. Alfie Taylor is in front of John T. Restrick, with Joseph Davis and William Haynes. Katie Clark and Mason Brooks are on row 15. Then we've got Andy Stewart, and then we've got Ahmed Akhalifa with Sophie Campbell and Jacob Nairn completing your 34 and capacity Iame Waterswift Inter Grid. Finley Lines pulling double duty here this weekend, going off 3rd place in the Iame Waterswift. He'll be back in his regular kart running the O plate in 950 Inter after this one. We are away and racing, and it's a clean start for our Iame Waterswift runners for the first time on a rolling start. We've had the green flag at the first time of asking everybody, with the exception of 2 or 3 are through. We've got the 90 of Sophie Campbell going up and over the curbs, and then we've got the 36 of Johnston Stewart up as well. Down the back straight we go. Down the runway straight, still too wide as they head up towards the Bruno chicane. They slot their way in. Finley Lines has gone backwards at the start of this one, started in 3rd. Could lose another place here, but he got pushed out at Cafe Corner on the first lap. And it was tough for him to get back in on exit. Austin Newstead, the pole sitter, then leads from Jarlath Sayer and Suki Mankira. Then we've got Blair Smith as we are seeing drivers 2 and 3 wide. The 19 goes wide, that's Night measures. He gets back in just in enough time in 10th place. Down the inside and holding firm. Looks like Jarlath Sayer's gone towards the front. Has he in the number 8? Absolutely he has, and then he's imploring his teammate, Suki Mankira, to push him along. Blair Smith up into 3rd place. Then it's Austin Newstead who led the start of this lap down in P4. Behind them, there's a little bit of a concertina effect. You could hear it as it was more plastic on plastic rather than the normal noise we hear, which is tyre squeal and brakes. 63 down the inside, Harry Williams holding on to 3rd place. Newstead then, who was in 4th place going up into Wilkins, has come out in the lead. Blair Smith, Harry Williams, Suki Mankira and Jarlath Sayer, George Clark, and then Finley Lines in the 81. Behind them, the 99 of Christian Kobe is alongside Freddie Wood as they run up towards the Bruno chicane. Just a reminder that all of our results are provisional until post-race checks and any investigations are complete. Austin Newstead back to the front then, leading Blair Smith and Harry Williams. Sukiman Kahira in 4th place. Moves up further for Finley Lines and Freddie Wood. So George Clark dropping down 2 places on the previous lap. Looks like we're going to have Harry Williams down the inside of Blair Smith. We do. Change for 2nd place for the 2 ORM runners. '71 and a 99. It's Christian Kobe up onto the grass bank on the outside on exit of the Bruno chicane. I can assure you there's not a lot of grip up there, and what he will have now is a lot of grass cuttings on his tyres. Change for the lead, or that could only be brief. No, it's confirmed. Harry Williams through and leads Austin Newstead. Fastest lap by Jarlath Sayer in 4th place. Sayer then down the inside of the 15 of Blair Smith. Smith's going to drop down from 3rd into 5th place. Austin Newstead now, he looks to be just pushing away on the back of Harry Smith. That'll give him a chance to turn it into a 2-kart battle. Lines is down the inside of Mankahira. That's going to allow Freddie Wooder through as well. I think down the inside out of 7th place. We'll get confirmation. Blair Smith, in fact, that was getting shuffled back. He'd already gone back a place already then for Blair Smith and loses 3 places on lap number 5. Freddie Wood still then in P7. Let's see whether this race follows the normal sort of front running strategy, which is have a couple of laps at it, then settle into a bit of a rhythm and take a breath and reset the batteries ready for the final 2 or 3 laps. I get the feeling a little bit further down, Smith, Wood, Clark, Gibson, Henry Clark, Harley Musknight measured, they're going to have different agendas. As you can see, they're a lot closer together and are still battling for position up towards Wilkins. In front though, we are on a bit of a 2x2 push away. Sayer and Kira in 3rd and 4th place. Going to need that work together to close in. Warning on the previous lap, I think, for Callum Graham. He's in 25th place. He'll be alerted to that over start finish. There is Lines in the 81, currently in a bit of no man's land at the minute in 5th place. The other 2 have got drivers to play with and push along. Then you've got Lines on his own, in his own air, behind them Blair Smith and George Clark. Williams then leads from Newstead, the top 2. Sukmani Kira in 4th place behind, pushing Jarlath Sayer along. Lines then in 5th on his own. Down the inside goes Austin Gibson on Freddie Wood. That'll come up Gibson, the fastest lap holder of this race so far, up into 8th place. At the front, it looks like Sayer and Kira are a little bit closer than what they were on that previous lap. In fact, now, even with 5 minutes to go, Harry Wood looks a little bit more defensive. Previous lap, 47.8. 47.8 as well that time, but 0.2 quicker with Jarlath Sayer and Sukmani Kira. We're up now to a 4-kart trade at the front of this Iame Waterswift E-plate. And down the inside goes Austin Newstead for the lead. And Harry Williams is going to come out of this one in at least 3rd, could be 4th. It's 3rd as they head up towards the Bruno chicane. Jarlath Sayer in 2nd place now. The big one for this is that the top 3 are going to get entries to the Iame World Finals. The winner, they'll get their tyres thrown in as well for that race meeting. So Newstead will lead them over the line from Sayer and Williams, but Newstead leaves the door open and Jarlath Sayer's down the inside. Newstead will slot back into 2nd place. Might leave the door open though, because Harry Williams is going to get forced out here, and Sukmani Kira here's alongside and has the inside line track position as they head up towards the Stratford hairpin, but also that's allowed Lines, Clark and Blair Smith right back into the mix of things. We are 7 deep at the front of Iame Waterswift. Not only going for the E-plate, but also going for 3 tickets to the Iame World Finals. And Finlay Lines is down the inside of Harry Williams. Williams, who led this race a lap and a half ago, is down into P5. And at the front, it all changed once again. You'll get the confirmation of what happened on that previous lap. Jarlath Sayer getting past Austin Newstead. Sukmani Kira up into third place. In front of now, Finley Lines, Harry Williams and George Clark, Blair Smith, Austin Gibson, Freddie Wood and Harley Musk. The top 10 split by 1.9 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 to go. Lines, the only real driver sort of running that inside curve on entry, and the 84, that's Mason Brooks is off, and it looks like Brooks has got a problem. We've got a waved yellow then up at the Stratford hairpin. Marshals will obviously be off trying to assist that kart, but issues for Mason Brooks, and he's out of this race. So the drivers will be met shortly. We're still green at the moment until they see the yellow flag at post 3, and it's already in. So we are going to have overtaking opportunities for our runners, and up into third place has come Finley Lines. In front of him now, Austin Newstead. We're 3 wide, heading up to Bruno's in the background. Let's see if they can get themselves into some sort of order. Yes, they can. Not quite sure what that order is, but they've got themselves into one. Minute and a half to go. Field, Concertina together once again. Chunk of curve for Lines and the green helmet there. That's not going to aid the speed on exit. He's going to try and move though down the inside of Austin Newstead. He's through. Can Newstead get back in? Once again, Sukmani Kira could take advantage. Can't quite draw alongside, and now we've engaged defensive mode for Jarlath Sayer, and that's allowed Austin Newstead back up into second place. Kira's alongside Freddie Lines. Lines is going to stick it out round the outside and hold on, and back down the inside comes Harry Williams back up into fourth place. Williams now, will he try and push Lines onto the leaders, or will he go for the third place? What does he want, the E-plate or the ticket to the World Finals? Let's find out. 37 seconds to go. 2 laps for the Iame Waterswift E-plate here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Jarlath Sayer leading Austin Newstead with Finley Lines and Sukmani Kira. Still being shown in fourth place. Don't think timing's updated, because earlier on we saw Harry Williams get through. Don't think his transponder's picked up, but he's definitely there in the 63, being shown in fourth place. Behind them we've got the 9 of Sukmani Kira. Yellow flag out down at the Stratford corner. Incident further down the field. That's already in though, so it looks like we're going to have a clear green lap as they head towards the timing line for what will be the penultimate time. Millen Tomlinson with a contact warning. Finley Lines is down the inside of Jarlath Sayer, and Austin Newstead is through as well. Newstead will lead us over the line then for what will be the final time before we see the checkered flag. Finley Lines in second place, Jarlath Sayer in third. Williams is still in fourth place, coming under pressure from Sukmani Kira. Contact warning for Joseph Davis. Defensive line for Newstead. 2 looks over the shoulder, 3 looks over the shoulder. Lines tries to go round the outside. He's tipped into a half spin. They're 3 wide down the back straight. Williams draws alongside. Lines are still in third. Newstead leads from Jarlath Sayer. That's your top 2. One overtaking opportunity now for Sayer to snatch the E-plate away from Austin Newstead. That'll be at Wilkins. Newstead hard on the brakes. Sayer's going to try and lever him wide. Lines is through. Lines from third has opened the door. As across the grass goes Austin Newstead. Finley Lines from third place wins the Shenington E-plate here at the SuperPrix. Finley Lines, Jarlath Sayer and Austin Gibson, as it stands provisionally, are going to the Iame World Finals. Finley Lines takes the E-plate from Jarlath Sayer and Austin Gibson. Austin Newstead, though, finishing down in 8th, led into the corner at the far end of the circuit, was levered wide. I'm certain that'll get looked at. That's not for me to draw an opinion on. It's just for me to talk about the action, and that was action-packed. Iame Waterswift, won by Finley Lines, Jarlath Sayer and Austin Gibson, are your top 3. They're making their way off the circuit, and we are moving on to TKM Extreme. problem out on circuit. The 24 will need some assistance being pushed back in, I think, by one of our marshals. No, he's had his Weetabix this morning. He's feeling big and strong. It's Alfie Taylor. He's going to push his kart back into pit lane by himself. Leo Robinson is on pole for TKM Extreme in the number 36 machine. Then it's Yihan Kalichurn in second, with Mitchell Ball and Kai Springfield on route number 2. Luke Jarman and Liv Jenkins are on route number 3. Harrison Morrow and Bradley Peck are on route number 4. William Bloom and Jack Stewart are on row 5, with Patrick Leaf and Jake Cox on row number 6. James Morrow, Gemma Kiddy and Damien Sleep complete your TKM Extreme final grid here at Shenington. We're just waiting for the pit lane to clear, and then we're going to get a few karts in that will need to be recovered from circuit. Having said that, TKM Extreme have just started up. Leo Robinson leading us round then. Kart on the fire, and what we'll be doing in between these races, rather than delaying the race, we'll sort of get the karts and we'll move them progressively closer back to the pit area, and then we'll get them in. We saw that yesterday with some of our historic demonstrations. If one of them didn't make it to the end, they just parked it to one side and got everybody else out on track, which was great. So TKM Extreme making their way round. Once again, another class where we'll be handing out an E-plate, £100 Talco voucher going to your winner. Can we get this one going at the first time? I'm asking. Yes, we can, and we're away and racing. Leo Robinson leads them round in front of what is now Jake Cox, making his way through up into second place. Not quite sure where he's come from. He's probably saying, he said he was down in 12th, but sure that's the 26 up in second place. It could well be the 28 actually, if Ian Kalichurn it is. My bad. The 28 looking like the 26, so we're pretty much as you were at the start, and Leo Robinson defending already on the way out of the Bruno chicane from Ian Kalichurn as the Robinson parks the kart. A little bit of oversteer as he's helped round Wilkins for the first time in what is once again an 11-minute plus 1 lap final, as Kalichurn sticks it down the inside round Park Bend, but still having track position would be Leo Robinson, but Robinson then runs wide on the outside, and Jan Kalichurn is through and leads this E-plate final, and defending then up towards the Stratford hairpin. Behind them, Springfield and Ball slotting themselves back into an order. Springfield was under a bit of pressure there from Mitchell Ball, who yesterday, as I came into the paddock, the first thing I really saw was that he's got a strong moustache game as Mitchell Ball. Over start finish for what will be the second time. No overtakes into that first Park Bend. It's a difficult corner. You sort of have to put all of your faith in getting through there, because if you don't, then you end up on the outside for Cafe Corner, and then you end up with 2 or 3 karts down your inside. Top 4 are to the inside and defending. Behind them, P5, Luke Jarman, Harrison Morrow and Liv Jenkins. Taking the more conventional line round the outside. The pink high visibility jacket there of the photographer Stu Stretton. And wide goes Yihan Kalichurn. That allows Leo Robinson down the inside. And Robinson is back through and into the lead that he held at the start. Kalichurn now under pressure from what looked like Mitchell Ball. Ball is through, having gone alongside Kai Springfield on that lap. And it looked like he was going to try and do 2 in 2 corners as he drew alongside Yihan Kalichurn. Brakes as they head up towards the Bruno chicane. 1/3 race distance almost upon us. Robinson throwing it in sideways, getting it stopped. tyre squeal. And leaving the door open once again for Johan Kalachurn. And Johan Kalachurn, like I say, yeah, you have to put your faith in getting alongside and getting through. And he put his faith in getting alongside and he got through in the run up towards Cafe Corner. The door though is left open and all the hard work has come to nothing. Briefly, he's alongside Leo Robinson. Robinson squeezes him tightly to the inside. Kalachurn is back through and Leo Robinson has to settle back into second place. He's now going to be pushed along by Mitchell Ball down the back straight towards the down the Hanger straight towards Hanger Corner. Inside goes with Jackins on Kai Springfield. That's up into fourth place for Jackins. Leaders now have done away with that more defensive line as we see some of our drivers who are in that sort of battle from 5th down into 10th. Looks like we've had a bit of a timing mishap unless James Murrow has used the cut through. At the moment he's saying that he's leading by 42 seconds. Leading though is going to be Leo Robinson down the inside of Jan Kalachurn up into the Wilkins hairpin, and Leo Robinson is through. It's taken a few laps of not looking too interested. Kalachurn then just drops the guard and Leo Robinson sends the move down the inside into the Wilkins hairpin. We're 5 minutes into this 11-minute race and looks like Robinson then was going to leave the door open, but down the inside has gone Liv Jackins up into 3rd place, indicating the want to go forward now to both Kai Springfield and Mitchell Ball. Ball's dropped from 3rd down into 5th place as that's allowed Kai Springfield to come through as well. Leo Robinson, defensive line. Let's see whether Kalachurn can get the run out of the corner. He can, but now Leo Robinson's got the move down the inside into the left hand of Park Bend scouted. Kalachurn's got through there twice and Robinson's managed to get that kart parked. He's not taking as wide a line over the start finish and he's making sure that there is no overtaking opportunity. However, with a bit of a switchback here, Kalachurn is down the inside. Robinson is still on the track position. Behind them, Jackins is still there in 3rd, but it looks like now Mitchell Ball is alongside Kai Springfield as they run up towards Hanger Corner. And Kalachurn's down the inside, and Robinson could get hung out to dry here. He's done well to slot back into 2nd place. Could have been down into 5th, and look at the train now as Robinson does to Kalachurn what he's done to him on at least 2 occasions already, and sides down the inside into Park Bend. But we are now down into double figures in terms of how many drivers are battling for this win. The top 10 split by 1.35 seconds. Springfield alongside Jackins as they head up towards Bruno. 4 minutes and 25. We've still got probably half this race to go when you add that extra 1 lap on. And we are scrapping like this is the final lap. Robinson hard on the brakes, a little bit of resistance around that corner by Kalachurn. No harm done though. So we slot back in, and Kalachurn has once again managed to get through round Park Bend. Leo Robinson having that takes it up to a trio now of overtakes at that corner by Jan Kalachurn. Back down the inside comes Leo Robinson. Nobody wants to lead this race. I'm absolutely sure of it. Well, in fact, everybody wants to lead it because they keep overtaking each other. But Luke Jarman in the 6th picks up a warning. He's currently in 7th place. He's just out of camera shot. We'll pick him up as they come into shot, and they'll concertina together. There he is in the background. In number 6 kart. With the exception of the top 2, who overtook on this corner on the previous lap, everybody else is as they were all the way down to P8, which is Jake Cox and Jack Stewart. They both found a way past Harrison Morrow on the previous lap. And Down the inside goes the 4 of Kai Springfield on Liv Jackins. Jackins will drop down into P4. .250 on the clock. Callum with a few looks down to the right-hand side. Have a move into the first corner here, cut by Liv Jackins, and Springfield's going to hold on, and then Springfield's gone wide, and Liv Jackins is through, and Springfield's going to be down in 9th or 10th place here. Could well be behind Jack Stewart. We'll confirm when they come round. We'll see what's happening, because Liv Jackins has dropped down into 4th. Who's that up into 3rd now? Because it was Jackins and Springfield. Jackins has been given a contact warning. I don't know how much there was in that corner with Springfield going wide. They did seem to be side by side with each other. It's Mitchell Ball up into 3rd place now from P5 on that previous lap. With Jackins then down into P4, or he's still in P4, moved briefly up into P3 before what was perceived to be contact with Kai Springfield. He too has picked up a contact warning. Minute and 30 on the clock. We are lapping in the 45s, so they're going to get round with some 5 seconds on the clock when the time comes, unless they slow each other up a lot in terms of trying to defend and hold on to leads here. Callachurn at the moment they're moving to the inside, defending fresh air, because they've got a kart length back to Leo Robinson. Mitchell Bally, we've seen on a number of occasions here at Shenington this weekend that if you're in 3rd, you've got a really good chance of picking up some pieces when the leader comes under attack from 2nd place, and we saw that in Iame Waterswift about 10 minutes ago. Are we going to see it again with Mitchell Ball in 3rd place? Jan Callachurn holding off Leo Robinson. And Callachurn's going to defend every single corner now, all the way to the checkered flag. Kart just being parked on the inside, and out of every corner just going tight. Once again will be tight up into Wilkins. Bit of a kart length, a bit wider than I thought that Callachurn would go, but then we'll hug the white line on the way through over the timing line. So do cross the line with 12 seconds to go. Top 2 have got a few kart lengths on that run up towards Stratford. Everybody else to the inside. Mitchell Ball will go take a wider line. That should allow him to close up with Liv Jackins. Bradley Peck's up into P5. He's come out of nowhere, really, as Bradley Peck. Where did Bradley Peck start this race? He started in 8th and has just slowly worked his way into the top 5 as Bradley Peck in the 82 in the black kart, white helmet in the background there. They'll see. Oh, up and over the curb goes Leo Robinson and launches it down the inside of Jan Callachurn into Wilkins. They'll come through, and it's the last lap board for Leo Robinson now, leading from Jan Callachurn. Mitchell Ball in 3rd place. Then it's Liv Jackins and Bradley Peck, Kai Springfield, Luke Jarman, Jake Cox, Jack Stewart and Harrison Murrow. The top 10 split by 1.86 seconds, hard on the brakes as they run up towards the Stratford hairpin. Little bit of contact in the middle of the pack. The top 2 have got a little bit of a breakaway here on this final lap as Mitchell Ball holds on and defends that final podium position from Liv Jackins as Leo Robinson is levered wide by Jan Callachurn. Callachurn is through. Robinson's furious as they come through. Callachurn, though, will take the checkered flag from Leo Robinson. Mitchell Ball takes the final step on the podium. Jan Callachurn provisionally wins the TKM Extreme E-Plate from Leo Robinson and Mitchell Ball. Bradley Peck up from 8th into P4. Liv Jackins, Kai Springfield, Luke Jarman and Jake Cox, Jack Stewart and Harrison Murrow complete your top 3 in what sees the top 10 split by less than 2 seconds at the end of a very, very intense TKM Extreme final here at the Shenington SuperPrix. we move on once again. So this time we're going to Rotax Inter. Rotax Inter will be out very, very shortly once we've got green flags all the way around the track. Winner for this one will pick up Rotax Oil. Then we've got Jag Kart Cover and Vera Tools for second place, and third place we've got Vera Tools as well. Finley Lines back in his usual wagon will go off the pole position and the front row with Leo Livings alongside Finley Hines and Benjamin Lawn on row 2. Lucas Esser and Adam Jaudis are on row number 3. Ethan Cossins and Sebastian Guy, Archie Lee Bullock and Louis Barker with Ralph Rakatis and Sandro Kemp on row number 6. Row 7, Layla Bell, our leading novice at the moment, in front of Hakeem Batt. Then we've got Jackson Hilton, Toby Wortley, Jack Charles Bailey and Louis Marshall on row number 9. They're making their way round. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors of the Shenington SuperPrix. Huge thank you for your support from Vega Tyres, for Kart Sim, Red Bull Racing, who've donated the gift bags, Tim Wilson Motorsport, Jack Dex Racing, Iame, Jag Engineering as well, to name but a few. M Sport as well, you can see in the top right hand corner. Spoke to Kieran, their main man at M Sport Racing earlier on. You'll be able to find on the Alpha Live channels and on the Shenington pages as well the interviews that we carried out yesterday. They'll be placed on there throughout the week after this Shenington SuperPrix. Into the tram lines, looks like it was nice and steady. We are away and racing at the first time of asking. Lines will lead us round then in front of the 77 of Leo Livings. Your front row are exiting the corner, the two drivers in the Synergy Machinery running up towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time, in front of the 57 of Finley Hines, the top 3. Line astern in what is once again an 11-minute plus 1 lap final. I've received my final Junior Max grid, which means that all my paperwork is in order. We are good to focus on the racing. Lines already provisionally has picked up 1 victory here this weekend in Iame Waterswift. That was 2 races ago. He's got to get himself sorted, and then as TKM Extreme were out, got himself positioned in this O-Plate, the current British O-Plate winner, currently second in the British Championship as well in this Rotax Interclass. Finley Lines, one of 2 drivers this weekend pulling double duty, getting out in 2 karts. Same for Charlie Morris Jones, he's doing senior Rotax and senior X30 later on. Behind the top 3, who we can just see there, Benjamin Lawn, Lucas Esser, Sebastian Guy. The top 6, Adam Jaudiatis, then it's Louis Barker, changed for second place. Finley Hines is up in front of Leo Livings. 2 Synergy karts split now by Finley Hines. As he charges down, his first namesake Finley Lines in front of him. Lawn in 4th place, then it's Esser, Guy, Jaudiatis, then it's Cousins, Barker, Bullock and Kemp in front of your leading novice runner, the 33 of Layla Bell. Ralph Rakiatis in 13th, Hilton, Bailey, Wortley, Batt and Marshall. Your remaining runners in this 18 car Intermax grid here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Through for the lead goes Finley Hines. Finley Hines, what a move. Down the inside, round Park Bend. Sliding it down the inside of Finley Lines. And Hines leads the way now. Defending up to Stratford. Lines going right the way around the outside. That's the long way round. Leo Livings cuts back to the inside. Now Livings is going to get some help from Lines, and the 3 of them, all 3 come together. They're all still running. How? I've got absolutely no idea. Still 8 minutes to go though, plenty of time for Finley Hines to close back up, and he might have Benjamin Lawn to help him along as well. Finley Hines was pushing Leo Livings down that back straight to try and push Livings through, and then went for his own move as well. And then the three of them all came together in a corner where you can't put three karts side by side. Lines leading then from Livings, Hines and Lorne. The two Cole Racing machinery behind them in third and fourth respectively. Lucas Esser, then it's Sebastian Guy in fifth and sixth, just off the back as well. Being pushed along by Adam Jadiausis and Ethan Cousins. A little gap back then to Louis Barker. And we've got a slightly bigger gap back to Bullock in 10th in front of Layla Bell. Fastest lap by your race leader, Finley Lines. Leading Leo Livings, opening the gap up by a 10th on that previous lap. Behind them though, Finley Hines is coming back into this. Thought he was going to be pushed along by Benjamin Lorne, but now Lorne appears to be getting drawn into a battle for his fourth place. Behind him you've got Esser, Guy, Jaldiatis, then you've got Cousins and Barker as well. So this race just beginning to settle down slightly, albeit not too far back. We've still got action going on. Contact warning for Hakim Bat. He's currently in 18th place, though we await him to cross the line shortly. He's up into 17th. Ethan Cousins has dropped all the way down the order, on timing at least, but he's still there on track in the 17. He'll be reinserted in. Transponder not picking up, but he'll be reinserted in behind the 24 of Adam Jaudiakis. He's in 8th place. There is Jaldiatis down the inside of Sebastian Guy. Guy's going to come back around the outside, and number 74 Jack Dex Racing Machine. Will he hold on for track position? Yes, he does. They're going to force each other wide. That's going to allow Louis Barker to draw alongside at least one of them. Ethan Cousins is back there as well in that 17 machine. Jaudiakis and Sebastian Guy once again enjoy a little bit of contact, this time on the run up towards the Stratford hairpin. And what was a train of karts earlier has been split now into a 4-kart battle. At the front, the top three are comfortable and have gaps back to each other respectively. Lucas Esser under pressure from trying to close in on Benjamin Lorne. Esser in the orange suit and orange helmet as well. Lorne going wide round the right-hander of Cafe Corner. Finley Lines again turning the screw. Could be on for a provisional double here at Shenington this weekend. Behind this battle, we've got drivers going too wide, and we've got drivers off hard into the tyre wall. The 48 of Louis Barker. Looks like who's off with him. We've got two off down there. Barker's one of them. Could be Jaldias, it could be Cousins. We'll find out in a few moments' time, but they've gone hard through the tyre wall on the outside, and we're going to go Battenberg with 4 to go. Sure, we've got Battenberg out at post 2, so just waiting for confirmation when they come round. They've been shown the Battenberg, and we've got a Battenberg out at 6 as well. Green flag being shown at 7, but we are under Battenberg conditions. Finley Lines slowing the field down, and it's Adam Jaldiatis and Louis Barker off on the outside. We cut to it just as they got there, and they arrived backwards and at speed through the tyre wall on entry to the Bruno chicane. So they're clear. The field's still going round at what appears to be a race pace. We're racing again. I don't know whether we were ever under Battenberg. Who knows? Having a quick look doesn't show anything on timing that we have been, so we definitely saw a few Battenberg flags out there. So That is a very, very upset driver, unfortunately. The two of them out, and their chances of winning the Shenington SuperPrix gone with it. At the front, Finley Lines. Still leading from Leo Livings. He's been closed in, though, by Finley Hines under what was a Battenberg, not a Battenberg, back to green. Either way, we are up racing, and we've got 2.5 minutes to go in this race here at Shenington. Lines leading from Livings, and then Finley Hines behind them. Leo Livings is going defensive already. That is wonderful to see between the two drivers that had the incident. You're not going to see better sportsmanship than that all year on Alpha Live, all season. They're now having a little discussion of what happened, but helping each other up, and they're both okay, which is the main thing here at the Shenington SuperPrix. A real sort of family club feel to this meeting, as down the inside of Leo Livings could be Finley Hines for second place. The door closed, kicked shut by Leo Livings, then double bolted, and then with a chair placed under the door handle as well. Still holding on. Finley Lines at the front is going to be handed this one. He's worked hard for it. Let's not take anything away. But now Leo Livings and Finley Hines are going to squabble over second place. And squabble hard they are going to do. Leo Livings slow out of Bruno because he had to take a tighter line on entry. That's going to give Hines an opportunity. They've got a bit of a gap as Hines has a nibble, has another nibble, and Hines has gone through as Leo Livings tried to get it stopped and then tried to pretty much sort of do a block by just stomping it on the brakes, and Hines has gone through up into second place, but with 49 seconds on the clock and nearly 2 seconds to close in on the back of Finley Hines, he's got a long, long way to go. So Finley Lines leading with a comfortable gap from Finley Hines and Leo Livings. Behind them, Benjamin Lord under pressure from Lucas Esser, 4th and 5th. What they want, if they can get up into that 4th place, is the driver in front has a problem, has an issue with technical at the end of the race, picks up a penalty for any infringements, and they're going to be promoted onto the podium here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Lines, Hines and Livings. Timer down to 0. Finley Lines will see the last lap board next time round. Layla Bell, still your leading novice, but under pressure from the 45 of Jackson Hilton. They've got a few kart lengths between them. As now your race leader down the road. Thought we were in some traffic there, but we're not. We've got 2 drivers out earlier on, with Shadiatis and Barker with their issues at the Bruno chicane. 57 of Finley Hines in second place, holding off Leo Livings. Livings closes right in, nibble into the back. Livings, he can definitely make a late overtake. Probably still the best overtake I've ever seen from any driver was Leo Livings at Landau a few years ago, and Hines just stamps on the brakes halfway round the Stratford corner. Livings wasn't even close to him until he stamped on the brakes, and then Livings went into the back of Finley Hines incredibly hard. Livings draws alongside as they run up towards the hangar corner. Livings is still alongside. Hines has got the door closed. Livings with a tap. Livings with another tap. Livings is down the inside on Hines. Benjamin Lawns alongside. We've seen Freddie Lines take the victory. Livings in second place, Hines in third, in front of Lord and Lucas Esser. As they come into the paddock, Guy, Bullock, Rakiatis, Kemp, and then Bell are your top 10. Layla Bell, the leading novice in the class for this Iame Inter Minimax. Our Intermax runners have a discussion about the final lap of that race out of the commentary box window. We shall move on very, very swiftly to Formula Libra. I will run you through a grid very, very quickly. Then I will have a brief explanation, if we have time, what Formula Libra is. Josh Derry will start on pole position. Guy Tully alongside on the front row with Jason Wilson and Ashley White on row 2. Then it's Marcus Smith and Richard Mallinson on row number 3 in front of Gavin Pitt and Archie White, with Amy Catchpole and Jorel Julius on row number 5. Jack Crisp and Matthew Swanston are on row number 6. Ian Davis and Nigel Gerrity are in front of Reese Masters and Pierce Armstrong, with Hugo Haynes and Andrew Platt on row number 9. Jim Rogers and Evie Russell, Harpal Baines and Paul Belton, and then Barney Mortimer, your final runner in 23rd place. Now, Formula Libra, you might be wondering what that is, because the name doesn't give you the clearest of explanations. Well, in Formula Libra, you can run a multitude of different karts. Generally, a lot of them appear to be, looking out the window, on the TKM, also not on the X30 side of things. But in order to race in Formula Libra, you require a second-hand chassis. You'll be running used tyres, you'll be running used engines, and it's an entry level into owner karting. And if you've got all of your kit, you can do a day here at Shenington at the club meetings for somewhere in the region of around £200, which for those of you that are involved in karting will know is an absolute bargain. So they're going to make their way round for their start. Thank you for everybody getting in touch. Gingy's been in touch asking where's Josh Derry. Josh Derry's on pole position for Formula Libra. As he heads out, we're going to see the sky here at Shenington. I wonder if we get to see a glider before the end of the day, because behind that bank there in the background on the Hanger Straight, here's the gliding club, and you'll see the glider go up and then you'll see the parachute come down for taking the glider up, or sometimes you'll see a plane drag the glider up as well if they maybe want to go a little bit higher. Here we go with Formula Libra. We are away and racing at the first... No, we're not away and racing at the first time of asking. The Marshal at Marshall Post 2 very swiftly gets out the flag for the false start. So we are on race number 37 of 40 here this weekend at the Shenington SuperPrix. Formula Libra will, the winner of this one will also win TCR family tickets, courtesy of TCR UK and Stuart Lines, with Vera Tools going to drivers in 2nd and 3rd place. Tim Wilson Motorsport on the sponsorship in the right hand corner for this one, and we are away. No, we're not again. No, just as I start to get peak and get excited, the false start flag comes out, and we've got one driver going all the way round, and then we've got one driver deciding he's going to take a turn and rejoin us back into position. That would have been Jason Wilson off 3rd place. He'll just have to get himself into position now, and he'll have to slot back in. So can he find a way through the field and back up into that 3rd place? I think he could already be there. Where's the 63? Has he found that position? I'll let you know in around about 10 seconds time as they head up towards the commentary position on the outside of Cafe Corner. We are away and racing this time at the 3rd time of asking. So they make their way round. Everybody's through nicely. And no, doesn't look like Jason Wilson was able to take up the position that he wanted. We're up towards Stratford for the first time in this Formula Libra final. Standard procedure, 11 minutes plus 1, with Josh Derry leading from Guy Tolley. And it's going to be Marcus Smith, Ashley White. They were the ones over the line. So Formula Libra class make their way up for the first time. The 15 of Hugo Haynes has had an excursion. Fall down the order as they cross the timing line for the first time. We've got warning for the 73 as well, of Nigel Gerrity, as well as the aforementioned Hugo Haynes. Josh Derry leads from Guy Tolley. Then it's Ashley White, Marcus Smith and Gavin Pitt. There's down the inside at the front, Josh Derry having to defend. That's going to allow Ashley White in 3rd place the opportunity to try and catch up onto the back as Drew alongside Guy Tolley in that run up towards the Stratford chicane. Behind them, Marcus Smith, Gavin Pitt. And then the 14 of Richard Mallinson. Jason Wilson back up now into P7. Having fallen down the order at the start when he had to, when he missed the cut through for the false start. And once again, Josh Derry defending from Guy Tolley on the run up towards the Stratford hairpin. Flat out right at hanger, then through what is effectively an unnamed right. On the track map it just shows it as a straight, but it's not. There's a little bit of a right hand kink there. So we've got a lot of support coming in for the for this Formula Libra race. People tuning in as Ian Davis, in 13th place, sets the fastest lap. Once again, a defensive line from Josh Derry, and this is allowing the 11 of Gavin Pitt to come back in the mix as well. Nathan Edwards saying, go on Gavlar. I'm going to make a massive assumption that's for Gavin Pitt. Well, he's going well and currently closing in on a podium position at the moment, running in P4 in the TWM colours. His stablemate Ashley White, at least in terms of sticker kit at the very least, running just in front of him. Support as well for Josh Derry from Joshua Crompton. He's led every lap of this race so far, has Josh Derry, but he's also defended every single lap on this run up here, as we see huge puff of tyre smoke from Guy Tolley. This third place, Ashley White is on the outside. Looked like Gavin Pitt was going to have a move down the inside there for third place. Does look like Ashley White has still managed to hold on. Indeed has, and behind them, Marcus Smith coming into the mix as well here in this Formula Libra final. Josh Tolley so far with a frustrating race, because in front of him, Josh Derry, Guy Tolley with a frustrating race, because Josh Derry has been putting on a masterclass of defensive driving. What it is doing is it's allowing White, Pitt and Marcus Smith to remain in the mix, and behind them Jason Wilson, Richard Mallinson, Archie White, Jack Crisp and Matthew Swanston. He's a little bit further back, but we've got positions back from the first 9. They're all going to be closing in, and I think they'll be down to within under 2 seconds very, very shortly, although Wilson down to Crisp, they're having their own little battle going on. They are starting to probably go more in the other direction because they're deciding to have a scrap. But Jason Wilson is up now into 6th place. Let's see whether he can close in, having qualified 3rd. Again, a defensive corner by Josh Derry. It's going to be frustrating for Guy Tolley. If there's anything he can think of, he's currently going through his plans. We've seen plan A. I think we probably had B, C, D. What's he got in E? So at the moment, we've got Derry defending over the timing line, and then this is the first time that Guy Tolley's had a chance of going down the inside. As looked like Derry thought he had enough, and Tolley puts the kart there, so that's opportunity A. B's up here at Stratford. Again, he'll defend out of this corner, heading up towards Bruno. That's option C out of the way. Out, though, here's the 16 of Pierce Armstrong. I think that's down the far end of the track, down towards Wilkins, as we've got confirmation there of the yellow flag. Drivers putting their arm up just to say, yeah, we're aware of it. We're not going to do anything silly under the yellow flag. Now we can go racing again after we're past the incident. Around about half race distance then. again, Josh Derry. This time, Guy Tolley's alongside. He's got half a nose and he's being squeezed to the inside by the leader. Ashley White now looking for second place. Gavin Pitt as well. And then down the inside has gone Guy Tolley. Josh Derry goes in deep and through goes Guy Tolley. He's tried overtakes left, right and centre, and what he needed was just a little bit of an opportunity. Josh Derry going in hot, and Guy Tolley now with the hottest ticket in town, leading this Formula Libra final. Now let's see whether he feels he's got enough pace to break away. We'll see whether he does the defending. See whether he just does to Josh Derry what Josh Derry had done to him on the previous 8, 9, 10 laps, 9 laps. There we go. Again, just questions coming in saying, what time's X30 Senior? Well, we're about 3 or 4 races away from that. We're on race 37 of 40 here at Shenington for the SuperPrix. So we drop back to focus on battles further down the field. It's the 14 of Mallinson, who's just about to get overtaken by Matthew Swanston. And then ask for some assistance from Owen Davis to push him along and get him back into the mix of things inside the top 10. At the front of this was Archie White. He's currently in a bit of no man's land. Josh Derry's back to the front. Just caught it off camera as they came back through over start finish, and Guy Tolley will now have to drop back into second place. And when I said I wonder if he'll defend in the same way that Josh Derry did, well, the answer to that was no, because Josh Derry is back into the lead. Guy Tolley down into second place. Josh Derry once again engages the defensive mode. Gavin Pitt, though, now is up into third place, in front of Ashley White. So change for the final podium position. With Gavin up into P3. 2 minutes on the clock here in Formula Libra. We'll do the customary check of how quickly they're lapping to figure out how many more laps they'll have. The answer to that is 4 more laps, including the last one. Derry with the defence again. Might as well just change the line of the track there and just give him his own little 1 metre bit down the inside there for Josh Derry. Ashley White looks like he's back up into third place. Yes, he is, in front of Gavin Pitt. Final step off the podium. Through the right-hand bend of Wilkins. Matthew Swanston with the fastest lap now, up into P7. Too wide down the back straight. Could have a change for second place here. Oh, almost, as Guy Tolley had left the door open, and that allowed Ashley White to draw alongside. Behind them, though, they're backing themselves up to Marcus Smith and Jason Wilson here, by the look of things. And they certainly are. Smith half a second quicker on the previous lap. 2 laps to go in Formula Libra. And the top 4, whilst clear, have to be very, very careful, because Smith, Wilson and Swanston are coming back into this one. Josh Derry defending once again from Guy Tolley. And the door is open. Down the inside goes Guy Tolley. Backwards is going to go Josh Derry. He's down into second. Thought it could well have been third. As they cross the line, to be greeted with the final lap board. Guy Tolley, who's kept his powder dry throughout this Formula Libra final, is up into the lead, and I can guarantee he's going to do a Josh Derry job. Parking it on the white line, up towards Stratford. We are 7 for the lead now. Swanston is up into P5 in front of Wilson and Smith. Tolley leading then from Josh Derry, and he's going to put it on the inside up towards Hanger Corner. 2 corners to go for Guy Tolley to hold on. Hard on the brakes, gets it stopped. Can he get the run out of the final corner? Yes, he can. Guy Tolley will cross the line to win the Formula Libra Shenington SuperPrix. Super race from Formula Libra. Guy Tolley taking the victory from Josh Derry. Then it's going to be Gavin Pitt, Ashley White and Matthew Swanston in the number 91, taking 5th place, having started that race in P12. So we are rattling through these races very quickly. We are 3 down, we're loads down actually, and we've got 3 more to go here as we head towards our senior classes with Senior Max up next. Here's your grid then. Zach Heslop on pole position, James Tester alongside Charlie Morrison-Jones on in 3rd place with Will Forber, Jack Rowe and Jack Spencer on row 3. Mitchell Mulvey and Cassius Diarth with Adam White and Freddie Ingram in front of Iggy Smith and Bryce Madison. Then it's going to be Alfie O'Brien, Zach Mead with Jean-Pablo Jardiez and Sky Fraser, Gregory Davis and Louis Judd in front of Bertie Wellesley and Jesse Mawson, your 20 senior Rotax runners. And we are not messing about in getting them out on track here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Out of Wilkins they come at a walking pace into the 2 tram lines. Are we good to go this time? First time of asking, we are good to go. We're away and racing as the 27 of James Tester sweeps round the outside, but then is immediately repassed by Zach Heslop. See, run up now towards Stratford for the first time. Door is open, Tester's up and over the curbs. We've got one driver going very wide. We'll try and pick up who that is. And James Tester almost came into contact with Zach Heslop on this opening lap here. 18 runners. There's the 84, Beach up on the curb. Gregory Davis with the cart parked up the curb on the outside of the Stratford hairpin very high. And we've got the 43 stationary of Louis Judd as well. Looks like that is also on the runway straight on the exit of the Stratford corner. We've got stationary yellow at 3. We'll have waved yellow at 4. The yellow is in. The track is fully green once again here at Shenington. Heslop up and over the curb, and then you hear him getting it stopped as the brakes were applied, and we're already stationary on the rear axle as he came off that curb and then found the tarmac. Top 2 are on a bit of a breakaway. Keep an eye out on the 69 of Freddie Ingram going off P10. He is already up to P4. Here's the driver of the 69 in the navy blue and pink suit. Got one driver peeling off into the pits already. That's the 83 of Zach Mead out of this race, so we're already going to be down a runner. We already had Gregory Davis earlier on as well with those problems earlier with that cart beached up on the exit curb of Stratford. James Tester from a mile back sends it down the inside of Zach Heslop. Heslop didn't see it coming. Tester, I'm fairly sure that when he applied the brakes, didn't know he was going to make that overtake either, but then saw the opportunity, eased off the brake pedal, slides down the inside, and he will lead from Zach Heslop, then Charlie Morrison-Jones in third place, fastest lap of the race, but he's now down into P4. Freddie Ingram in the 69 kart is on a charge and already up into a podium position. So Tester leading from Heslop. Tester leading from Freddie Ingram as he's down the inside into Wilkins at the far end of the circuit. And Freddie Ingram from 10th place on the grid is up into P number 2. Down the inside into Stratford goes Freddie Ingram, hard on the brakes. And he is up into the lead. We are only 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this race. 3 minutes and 20 seconds, sorry, into this race. And Freddie Ingram leads from P10 in that number 69 kart. Just pick them off one after another. Yellow flag at Wilkins. We saw it there at the marshal's post. We'll keep an eye out on timing, see who's dropping down the order. It looks like it's Bryce Madison. Loses 5 on that lap, could have had a half spin at Wilkins. Ingram defends, then decides he doesn't want to, and then up and over his front goes James Tester. Tester with the move down the inside, catches at the front end of Freddie Ingram. They're both going to drop down the order. Ingram's down to at least P3. We'll figure it out in a minute. I get the feeling that it's going to be Zach Heslop who re-inherits the lead. It is from the number 34 of Charlie Morrison-Jones. We'll figure out where everyone else is in a few moments when they cross the line. Heslop leads from Jones. Then it's going to be Ingram, Tester, Forber, Mulvey, Smith, Rowe, Spencer and Diarth. Gap though now is 1.3 seconds from Ingram and Tester. I was about to say they might need to work together to catch back up as they all promptly overtake each other up at the Stratford hairpin. And the two leaders look like they could have a breakaway, and Tester's off, and so's the 82 of Will Forber. Will Forber's turned round. He's clearly not happy. James Tester went across the concrete curb and then the rumble strip as well. So some assistance there. The two leaders have got a mammoth lead now. 2.5 seconds back to the rest of the pack from Zach Heslop and Charlie Morrison-Jones. Freddie Ingram, James Tester, Mitchell Mulvey, Iggy Smith. Then it's going to be Jack Spencer, Jack Rowe, as Tester is once again down the inside of Freddie Ingram. And then the 55 of Mitchell Mulvey will come to the inside as well. And then Ingram is falling back there. Now he's going to be sat in front of the 64 of Jack Spencer. Tester will be up into third, or they're backing down into fourth as Mitchell Mulvey finds his way through. Started the previous lap in P5, crosses this one in P3. Squabbling all down the order, and this is just letting the two leaders pull away. The gap's out to 4 seconds. With Heslop 3/10 to the good against Morrison-Jones. And then all of the battle in behind now sees Mulvey, Tester, Ingram, Spencer. I don't know why I'm going through the order, because they've got drivers round halfway down the straight by the look of things. There we have, it's the 17 is off. That's Jean Pablo Girard Diaz, along with another driver as well. Very little point in me running through the order, because it's never in the same order when they cross the start line. It's often not in the same order when they take the next corner. We've got a bit of a field spread because of that now though. Mulvey up into third, Tester P4, Spencer and then Ingram, who went from 10th to 1st and back to 6th. And we've got Iggy Smith, Cassius Diarth and Adam White with Sky Fraser in the 67, the leading novice runner with the black background here in this Senior Max final. Set of tyres going to the winner, with a Jag Rotax kart cover and Vera Tulsa driver in second, Vera Tulsa driver in third. That's Mitchell Mulvey as it stands at the moment. Charlie Morrison-Jones trying to close in at the front of this one, sets the fastest lap, takes a 10th out of Zach Heslop, and we've still got 3.5 minutes to go. Behind them, Freddie Ingram is levered wide by Iggy Smith, and that's going to allow Adam White in the 13 to draw alongside. White has the slot back in though. Ingram has had a up and down race, 10th to 1st, back to what will now be 7th place for Freddie Ingram. Heslop and Morrison Jones, the gap's back out to 4/10. So Heslop's clearly been given the hurry up by someone at least, whether he's made that decision himself or whether his mechanic's giving him a bit of a G as he made his way past the past the grandstand on the way round Pitts Bend. Ingram under pressure by the 13 of Adam White. Up and over the curb goes White, and that allows the 47 of Cassius Diarth to attack White. Come through. Ingram, who looked like he had the pace to win this race, is round the outside. Cassius Diarth just gives Adam White a cartwhip. And Ingram now will defend off the 47 of Cassius Diarth. In the background, Will Forber recovering from the off earlier on, gets down the inside of Sky Frazier. Minute and 40 to go. Leaders will be heading up towards timing shortly. The gap is out to 5/10 of a second, half a second, as Heslop sets the fastest lap of the race. Third looks comfortable, but there is some lap traffic in front. Greg Davis, who is the lap down from our leaders, is currently between Morrison Jones and Mitchell Mulvey in third place. That was because he was spent half of the first lap perched up on that exit curb that you can see on the outside there, as Will Forber is forced slightly wide, and then he's forced slightly wide again, but does manage to hold on before he has an unfortunate trip to the tyre wall. Manages to get that kart stopped. Morrison Jones returns the fastest lap, but need to keep plumbing them in. 4/10 of a second is the gap between the two leaders. Freddie Ingram in P7 on screen, holding off the 47 of Cassius Diarth and Adam White in the 13 behind him. So still got 17 runners of our 18 that started. And the retiree Zach Mead will almost been the opening lap. Ingram closing the door on the 47 of Diarth. So we've got a slow moving car. No, we haven't. We're just having is the 84 of Gregory Davis, who we mentioned was perched up on that curb at the commencement of this race. Two leaders are closing back together with each other. Morrison Jones has got the gap down to 1.5/10. There's Mitchell Mulvey, who looks like he's going to be in third place and on the podium, but the two leaders with a lap and a half to go have migrated back towards each other. And on the fastest lap, Charlie Morrison Jones put in the fastest lap as he closes right back up now on the back of Zach Heslop. Final lap for our senior Rotax class. The top two who have broken away since the start of this race, as the field behind decided that they were preoccupied in their battles with each other, have now seen a two-horse race for this one. Heslop currently leading with the yellow and black helmet, white on the back of his suit with blue, and he's tried to go too tight, and right the way round the outside has gone Charlie Morrison Jones. Zach Heslop defending, but defends too hard, and Morrison Jones just sweeps all the way round the outside up towards Wilkins for the final time. There's contact between the two of them. They're up and over each other. They both come to a standstill. They both then get the power down. It's almost like a standing start. And Charlie Morrison Jones wins the senior Rotax final from Zach Heslop, Mitchell Mulvey and James Tester, with Iggy Smith Jack Spencer, then it's Cassius DR, Adam White, Will Forber and Freddie Ingram in front of your leading novice runner, Sky Fraser in P11. Heslop went for the move that he needed to in the final corner, went over the curb, went over Charlie Morrison-Jones as well at the same time. They both ground to a halt. Jones, the first of the two to plant the throttle, and Charlie Morrison-Jones takes victory here in Senior Rotax. Staying with seniors then, we head to Senior X30. Except we don't. We head towards Junior Rotax, and I'm going to take that one on the chin because that was my fault. I had the wrong set of notes in front of me. So I will take that one on the chin, and we'll have a look at the Junior Max final grid for you here at the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix. Harry Freeman and Tobian Alvarez will start on the front row. William Webb and Joshua Withcombe on row 2. Jack Baker and Lucas Blanford are on row number 3. Then it's Shane Dandaria and Riley Thatcher with Oliver Smith and Mikey Walker, the current Shenington Kart Club Championship leader in P10. Charlie Cox and Emily Cotty on row number 6. Ryan Gill's 13th, Toby Bedford's 14th, Leo Basterfield and Jensen Powers are on row number 8 with Daniel Gurney and Milo Manderson. Then it's Ryan Rapini, Callum Sims, Stanley Williams and Jasmine Taylor with Harry Russell and Jack Price on row number 12. Row 13, Ethan Griffins, George Phillips, Ben Morgan and Alexander Gurgus in front of Hayan Goglanathan and Teddy Cooper. Then we're going to have our drivers that progressed out of our B final. Oscar Keane, Finley Hans, John Saywood and Oliver Lomax. That's your 34 runners. They are going to slot themselves into position here. The top 3 from the Shenington Kart Club Championship, all in this. Our highest returnee, Lucas Blanford, in the 59 P3 last year at this event. We've had a false start, which is why the voice has not risen high. We are going to have another roll round. Here we go again then, drivers just getting some last minute heat into the tyres. Don't think they'll need that later on. The sun now here at Shenington beaming down, and those tyres have got to last the remainder of this race meeting. 11 minutes plus 1 lap on the agenda for us here as they come through the heat haze and head towards Cafe Corner for the first time. The 87 of Harry Freeman, the poleman, leads us round on the opening lap. We've got drivers going slowly, although nobody off completely. They've just managed to get in each other's way and trip each other up as we run up towards the Stratford hairpin for the first time. We're 6 and 7 wide in the middle of the pack. They're going to have to sort that out and do to an extent. Everybody is through, and by exit we are back to a single file. That's Blanford on the outside in the yellow helmet. He's tried to stick it all the way around the outside as Blanford, and then gets balked by what looks to be the 83 of Riley Thatcher. Freeman then leads from Alvarez, Baker, Webb, Shandaria, Mikey Walker up into P6 from starting P10. Smith, Thatcher, Blanford and Cotty are your top 10. There's Emily Cotty in the number 42 Rally Replay sponsored machine in her Argenti suit, which what she wears in the British when she races with them. Yellow flag out up there at the far end of the circuit. So we've got the 84 off. Stanley Williams is beached on that curb that we were speaking about earlier. So yellow flag is still stationary at post 3. We're racing all the way round to that as we've got moves further down the field. Yellow is in. The marshals here at Shenington working incredibly hard in this heat to keep this track green and keep the racing going. 93's Toby Bedford, he tries a move down the inside. Big move on that previous lap. It looks like Callum Sims up 3 places from 19th up to P16 for Sims. 3 wide down the back straight. Blanford defending. There he is in the black kart yellow helmet. Distinctive livery for Lucas Blanford. Black and gold yellow helmet. As they run up towards, I think he's just now, I think could be around about P8 for Blanford. Like I say, last year's highest returnee from the SuperPrix in 3rd place. He's now in P9. At the front though, Tobias Alvarez has found a way past Harry Freeman on the previous lap, as well as setting the fastest lap of the race with a 43.6 for Tobias Alvarez, Harry Freeman and William Webb. Move down the inside there. That looks like it was on Emily Cotty, so it looks like it could be Ryan Gill, as we've got some tyre smoke as they rub tyres on side pods further down the order. 8 minutes still to go as the front runners are broken out a little bit. Cotty still leading this train and then forced wide up at the Wilkins hairpin. Back to the leaders. Jack Baker in 4th place, the odd one out, the only driver not running a number in the 80s. Looks like at the moment in Junior X30 you've got to have an 80 number to be at the front on the podium at the moment. Alvarez in the 86, Freeman 87, Webb 89. Jack Baker didn't get the memo, he's in number 57. Your top 4 with a gap of 2.5 seconds back to the rest of the field, and the rest of the field is split by next to nothing. Alvarez leads though, behind them. Freeman will drop down into 3rd place. William Webb with the overtake into Wilkins. Jack Baker looks like he's just playing the long game here in this Junior Max final. Down the inside once again goes Harry Freeman, and Baker now just getting ready to pick up the pieces. At the front though, Tobias Alvarez has been given a break by Webb and Freeman battling it out. I wonder if we'll see any helmet tapping going on here. The universal kart driver's language of please work with me, don't overtake me. If we work together we'll catch that driver in front and then we both might have a chance of the victory. Having said that, rarely listened to by the driver behind. 90% of the time you'll see a helmet tap, and then the next corner the driver behind will just send a move straight down the inside. They don't like following each other, kart drivers, they like to be at the front. Joshua Whitcomb with the fastest lap of the race. Where's he running? Because he was quite high up early doors. He's down now in P11 for Joshua Whitcomb. Started this final inside the top 6. And a quick look at our Junior Max prizes. Set of tyres for the race leader. There's Blanford on the back of Mikey Walker for 7th place in a few moments. Tyres for the winner. Jag, kart cover and Vera Tools for 2nd place. Vera Tools the driver in 3rd as well. So, that's Mikey Walker through. In front of them, Blanford and Cox are having a battle. Walker is through on what appears to be Shen Chandaria. Back to the front, the number 80s breakaway is on with Alvarez, Freeman and Webb. Freeman and Webb have closed back up, but they've managed to drop Jack Baker at the same time. Baker will come back into this if you can just hang on the coattails at the moment, because they will not follow each other line astern to the checkered flag, I can assure you of that. Round Cafe Corner, half race distance. In this 11-minute plus 1 lap as we tick past the 5-minute mark, so we're there or thereabouts when we add that 45-second final lap on. Baker with a look over his shoulder. He's the one here in the, he's got the box seat for this battle in front. Off and into pit lane is the 33 of Callum Sims, who was setting fastest laps earlier on, but his rear bumper has become detached from the back of his kart, and he is into pit lane. And we're down a runner down the inside. goes Harry Freeman on Tobias Alvarez, and we've had a change for the lead at the front of this one. Another fastest lap for Joshua Withcombe. That's 2 now for the driver in 9th place. Up towards Stratford, and the door left open by Freeman. He's coming out in P4, and Baker's on the inside. Baker from 4th place is on the inside. He's going to slot back into 3rd, but he was alongside both William Webb and Tobias Alvarez. Alvarez continues back in the lead as Freeman got through, and then there's a little bit of contact into the back. William Webb running into Tobias Alvarez, then Barker, and Alvarez has got his arm up, but Alvarez needs to look forwards because he's got carts alongside him as they run up towards Cafe Corner. Contact warning for Leo Basterfield in the 61. He's our leading novice runner in P19. 3.5 to go. Oh, we've got drivers on top of each other. The 65 is John Saywood. He progressed through from the B final. Harry Russell is there as well. He's a driver that's perched up on top. That looks like it's down at Wilkins because we've got yellow flag there on the right as Alvarez points to it to let all his fellow runners know that there is a yellow flag at the board. As we can see there, that's your carts on the outside. I wonder if they get caught up. We're stopping it, red flag, with 3 minutes on the clock. We've got red flags here at the Shenington SuperPrix. We've got carts perched up on top of each other on the racing line, and that is absolutely the right call from the race director here at the Shenington SuperPrix. With carts on the line and unable to get them off each other, we will have a red flag. We are borderline in that 75% declaration with 3 minutes and 1 lap to go. I don't think we're quite there. We could be on for a super shootout in this Junior Max final. Drivers being held at Marshall Post 7. And they will be regridded up in single file order. Medical team, the reason they've been held at post 7 is so that the medical team can make their way through the cut through, and they will head down towards the incident at Wilkins at the far end of the circuit. As it stood at the time of the red flag, Tobias Alvarez was leading from Harry Freeman, Jack Baker and William Webb, Oliver Smith and Riley Thatcher in front of Lucas Blanford, Charlie Cox, Joshua Withcombe and Shane Chandaria. Now, if we do regrid, we'll go back to a point on the previous lap when they crossed the line, rather than anything that happened on that lap. So it'll be the previous full complete lap for our Junior Max runners. And it looks like with them being held on track rather than sent back towards the pit lane, which they can easily get to by using the cut through to the left here. There's almost what we call almost a short track at Shenington. You come through the Bruno chicane and then you can almost double back hairpin towards the towards Park Bend. So if they were sending them back, they don't have to go past the incident down the far end, but they're being held at post 7 at the moment, and I think they'll be regridded up, ready for what will be a super shootout. The top 4, Alvarez, Freeman, Baker and Webb, had previously earned the right by breaking away from the rest of the field to turn that into a 4-car battle. Smith, Thatcher, Blanford, Cox, Withcombe and Chandaria will be on one hand pleased that we've had a red flag. It'll give them a second chance, but also one of their Junior Max colleagues is out on track being tended to, so I imagine that their thoughts will be with them as well. We'll get them back now. This will also give the engines a little bit of time to cool, which will see. I can see the ambulance is heading back towards us at the moment, as some of the drivers have been stopped on the start-finish line, but I think we're going to have a bit of a regridding process which could take 5 or 6 minutes, which means that we're going to give us an opportunity to go to one of our interviews that we had yesterday down at M Sport. Kieran of M Sport, we're here at the SuperPrix. Tell us a little bit about the event.
It's a big race every year, lots of drivers racing, good weather for it, and also the retro karts, which are really good for all us oldies who remember what it was like when we was kids.
Tell us about what it was like when you were a kid.
A lot lighter. It's really funny when the karts were in a queue just outside of our awning. We came past and I got one of our drivers to lift the kart up and he couldn't believe how light it was. I think that's the difference between then and now.
At least you don't have to bump start them as much these days.
No, and I got an injury yesterday, bumper starting an old friend as well. So yeah, I'm not maybe as fit as I was 20 years ago.
M Sport as a whole, tell us a little bit about the team.
Racing team based at Wilton Mill Kart Circuit. We've been there for nearly 20 years now. Do a various racing, Rotax, X30. We've done everything in the past. We've done okay, finished 4th at the World Champs a few years ago. But yeah, just really looking after young drivers, building them up, and hopefully they go on to get a career in motorsport.
Talking of the young driver, those just coming into the sport, what is it the teams can offer to the newer driver?
I think structure's the most important thing. If you get the right team, it's teaching them how to drive. Everyone can follow people around, but it's teaching them how to drive at different circuits, not just at a particular circuit, giving them the actual skills to be able to do it in different places, not just in one place.
Kieran, wonderful. Thank you very much, and good luck this weekend here at the SuperPrix.
Thank you.
So we are back on track, and the regridding process has not commenced yet, so we might get an opportunity for a second interview during this short interlude, this time with Stuart Lines of TCR UK. Joined by the best driver in the Lines family, Stuart. Stuart, you're here at the Shenington SuperPrix sponsoring some classes. Let's talk about that to start with.
Yeah, we've always supported the SuperPrix because Finley, when he started karting, this is one of the tracks he's come to. He was a cadet of the year about 2 or 3 years ago, and we've just always helped the club. The club's like, I'm not saying it's struggling now because it's like there's hundreds here, isn't there? But it has, it's one of those clubs that needs a bit of help to keep the job going.
And what are we offering here this weekend in terms of prizes?
Yeah, we've put some free tickets, VIP tickets for the TCR round at Silverstone for various classes. We've got some oil from Liquid Moly, who are one of our sponsors in the cars, and a few little gadgets like key rings and lanyards. That, just stuff really. It's like we've got a lot of stuff that we've got too much of probably, and it's good to give. I asked if they wanted some trophies, but they've got enough of them, so it's good to give people some stuff.
Let's have a quick talk about advice. Obviously, your lad's in cadet and into inters, and he's doing very, very well. Obviously, he's going to move into cars at some point because of the sort of family direction. But to go from karting into cars, what would you sort of recommend for drivers?
Yeah, well, we've got our package. There's, you can start at 14 now. In Fiesta Juniors, there's JSCC, and then if you got a bit more money, you could do Ginetta Juniors, and then there's this new thing coming out, which is no one knows a lot about it, but it looks like it's going to be on the Tucker package. But there needs to be a place for everyone. Not everyone's got loads of money, but I think most of the people that are karting don't realise it, but you're going to spend less money when you get to cars. You won't be out every weekend, but it will be less money for the families.
So, in terms of that, in terms of TCR UK, tell us a little bit about that and sort of best way to get there, really.
Yeah, you need to start off 14, 15 in a junior package, do a year there. Main reason to do that is to learn the tracks. They're a lot harder to learn than a go-kart track, and you need an instructor with you to learn the limits of the tracks. You'll have probably less accidents then. And then get through that first 12 months, which it doesn't matter whether you're a junior or a senior or anything, that you need to go through that pain. And then when you get to 16, then sky's the limit. I mean, hopefully most people will want to drive in, if they've got less money, be a Civic Cup car, which we run. And then the other race, obviously, is a TCR group. You can start that at 16. And, that's kind of like, you could go anywhere in a TCR car. You can go from doing club racing to a factory driver, which there's plenty of those around the world.
Stuart, thank you very much, and enjoy the weekend. Hopefully your lad takes a plate away.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, be nice.
So Junior Max final has been declared there at the end of that one. Tobias Alvarez, Harry Freeman and William Webb, your top 3 on the lap count back. So juniors are in terms of Rotax, which means we are going to end our day with a double bubble of X30. We start with our juniors. So that is a Junior Max grid rather than a Junior X30 grid, but we're going to have Taylor Orridge on pole position. There we go, with Zach Green alongside Aston Sharp and Thomas Min-Spearing on row number 2. Mayan Patel and Joey Brown are going to be on row number 3. Riley Cranham and Sam Branston on row number 4. George Edgar and Lewis Islin in front of Aaron Richardson and Harry Walsh on row number 6. Laith Khan and Nat Johnston, Cameron Edmonds and Katie Donaldson, with Charles Kitely and Monty Brathwaite on row 9. Sebastian Dew and Rocco Shenton are in front of Morgan Moore and Macaulay Guy. Jacob Batchelor and Max Endicott are on row 12. Evan Purcell, Hamish Forrest, Archie Owen, Alexander De Benedictis, Dylan Patel and Zach Dolly, with Charlie Myers, Zeph Nurnberger, Alex Dodds and Maisie Creed, your 4 runners that came through the B final. We are green and we're away and racing at the first time of asking. Taylor Orridge will lead them round Cafe Corner for the first time with Zach Green hard on his tail. We've got driver off. That looks like that could have been Hamish Forrest. Was it off? And looks like we've got the 81 as well of Max Endicott going for a trip across the old concrete and tarmac here at Shenington. Still 2 and 3 wide as they exit, and there's a little bit of contact out onto the rumble strip as they exit the Bruno chicane. And Taylor Orridge in the GP plate will lead us over the line at the first time from Zach Green, Thomas Min-Spearing and Mayan Patel. Aston Sharp, Lewis Islin, Riley Cranham, Joey Brown, Katie Donaldson and George Edgar is down the inside. Looks like Mayan Patel has found a way past Thomas Min-Spearing there. We'll confirm that on the run-up to if you can pick a number out, and I think that is correct because there's Min-Spearing in the 74, Argenti colours on the back of Mayan Patel. So the penultimate race of the day, in the top 2, Taylor Orridge and Zach Green on a little bit of a push away. Orridge, who could also be running the number 2, as he's currently seeded second in the UK, as alongside him goes Zach Green into the first corner here, round Park Bend and then up towards Cafe Corner. Round Pitts Bend the field go, and Taylor Orridge now will defend and then chucks it in. That's going to allow Thomas Min-Spearing to get alongside as he's back through on Mayan Patel. We've got 4 carts battling this out for the lead. Earlier on, the 2 leaders were some second or so down the road as Zach Green is assisted, we'll say, round the final corner at Wilkins by Thomas Min-Spearing. Going all the way down to Lewis Isling now in 6th place in that number 12 machine, who started this race in 10th place and will now come down the inside as well because Riley Cranham has gone slightly wide. Orridge from green, Mayan Patel back up in 3rd place, with Thomas Min-Spearing down into 4th, coming under pressure from Lewis Islin in the 12, and then forced wide by Isling. We're 3 wide on exit. Min-Spearing is across the grass. He's going to have to be careful as they come back on, and there's some side-by-side, and the front pack is fragmented here at Shenington for the Junior X30 SuperPrix. Taylor Orridge still holding on from the rest of the field. Seeing if we can find where our winners' prizes are. Got two up on top, the 38 and the 39 come into contact. Cranham and Brown are up on top of each other and out of the Shenington SuperPrix. Up at the Stratford hairpin. Taylor Orridge and Zach Green continue to lead. Mayan Patel now being pursued by the 12 of Lewis Islin, who is up into fourth place, on the back of Mayan Patel. Aston Sharp has come into the mix in P5. Min Spearing down into 6th. Donaldson in 7th, with Branston, Walsh and George Edgar. And wide is for Zach Green. Through will come the 20 of Mayan Patel up into 2nd place. Lewis Isling's in 3rd as well. And at the moment, Zach Green is going backwards, because down the inside is going to come Min Spearing. Green, who was just forced wide and just hasn't been able to get back in to the train, and probably won't until they get to this corner here. And he's still alongside somebody. I think that's the 77 of Katie Donaldson, as they run up towards Cafe Corner. And all of this battling now means that the lead battle goes all the way down to Cameron Edmonds in 15th place. And then just behind them, Archie Owen sets the fastest lap in 16th. Contact, and we've got a driver spearing off to the left-hand side. Can we get a number? We can. It's the 77. It's Katie Donaldson, who is off at the Stratford hairpin. Gets out of the cart, and we'll have to drag that back on because it was nose into the tyres at the far end. And then we head up towards Wilkins. How long's left? Because the timing, the stack has gone from the left-hand side. We're about half race distance. We're 5 minutes in to this 11-minute plus 1 lap Junior X30 final here at Shenington. Field making its way through. Orridge has got a little bit of a gap at the front here, as Thomas Min Spearing and looks like Lewis Islin have had a discussion over 3rd place, which they're still having right now as they head up towards Bruno. And then the 58 of Sam Branston's got himself involved as well, and it should move Branston up into 6th place. So Min Spearing is back up into 3rd. Two leaders pushing away. Mayan Patel right onto the back of Taylor Orridge. They've got almost a second now back to the rest of the pack, because the rest of the pack are scrapping it out over the positions just out off the podium here at Shenington. Another replate on offer here in Junior X30, plus 3 tickets to the Iame World Finals. Orridge, Patel and Min Spearing. At the moment, the drivers who will be taking those tickets as well. Tyres as well thrown in for your winner in this one, as Tom Min Spearing out of 3rd place. I'm sure the World Final ticket will be lovely. We've got carts on top of each other again down at Wilkins. Drivers this time should be able to retrieve their machinery from the top of each other, but they will be out of this race. Or at least the likelihood. There's a good run out of the corner there by Mayan Patel. They're running up towards the yellow flag zone. Patel's going to have to slot back in. There's a little bit of contact from Min Spearing. We're under yellow flag, remember, up down the far end of that circuit. So we're not going to have any overtakes until we're past it, which is good now, but there is lap traffic in front of them. The 78 that was involved, which is Leith Khan, will be caught in due course by our race leaders. Orridge thought he had enough there to take the advantageous line round the outside, but now he's going to find Tom Min Spearing up into 2nd place, because Lewis Isling looked like he'd gone for 2nd. Had the door closed by Taylor Orridge, who thought he had enough space to get through and round that corner without an issue, and then found Lewis Isling on the inside of him. Still yellow flags down there at Wilkins, so no overtaking. Taylor Orridge, Tom Min Spearing and Lewis Isling, your top 3 as it stands. They've got Aston Sharp and Zach Green for company as well. Somebody else in the middle of the pack there. who's either not picked up, it was Mayan Patel who didn't pick up on timing, but now has been reinserted up into 4th place. 2.5 minutes to go, and is that the first signs of a defensive line for Taylor Orridge in anywhere other than the Stratford hairpin? Looks like the yellows are in, they are. More lap traffic in front. I'm still not convinced they're going to catch that lap traffic, because lap traffic's got clear track, and at the moment we've got a 6-kart scrap for the podium here at the Shenington SuperPrix. Junior X30, the penultimate race, with Orridge there, and you can see him just getting tapped along by Min Spearing. Orridge with a look over the shoulder. He's definitely not gone anywhere, I can promise you that, as then Min Spearing tries to force wide Taylor Orridge, and that's allowed Lewis Isling down the inside, and Tom Min Spearing has gone wide, and in doing that, it's also allowed Mayan Patel to jump from 4th up into 3rd place. Contact warning for Tom Min Spearing. Minute and 30 to go. We're doing 43, so we're going to get 3 laps in, maybe even 4 by the time they get round. Min Spearing's back up into 3rd, going right the way round the outside of Mayan Patel, who's dropped down from 2nd over the line into 4th place. Isling back up, and Isling now is defending that 2nd place. Orridge is going to have an opportunity here to drive off into the distance. Taylor Orridge at the front, Lewis Isling. Front now of Tom Min Spearing, Mayan Patel in 4th place. There they are. Then we've got a train of karts behind them. Drivers helping each other once again around that Wilkins corner. I'm sure that none of them are grateful. Fastest lap from Zach Green earlier on lap number 11. We now commence lap number 15 of the 2024 Junior X30 Shenington SuperPrix final. An E-plate up for grabs. Taylor Orridge already with the right to run the number 2. Already has the GP on, which he'll defend in a few weeks' time at the Kartmasters British Grand Prix, which will be live once again on Alpha Live. Warming himself up very nicely as well for next weekend, when the Iame rounds of the Motorsport UK British Championships are here at Shenington. It's a big few weeks of racing in the UK. So we are down to 0, but not before Orridge crosses the line. SuperPrix this weekend, Iame British next weekend, then it's the Kartmasters British Grand Prix. Min Spearing down the inside of Lewis Isling. Isling's going to hold on and be on the power earlier, but Mayan Patel's going to get behind Tom Min Spearing and try and push him through. Isling defending hard against Tom Min Spearing, and they come out in the same order. Lap and a half to go in this Junior X30 final. Taylor Orridge has got a gap, which I'm sure he'll know about. So I'm sure his mechanics giving him the heads up. Down the inside goes Mayan Patel for 3rd place on Tom Min Spearing. The final step on the podium, the final ticket to the Iame World Finals. Orridge leads by 1.26 seconds. There he is in shot. Behind, though, the battle for the podium. Evan Purcell gets the warning further down the field. Isling in 2nd place. Patel in 3rd. Min Spearing. Morgan Moore's coming into this one as well. In the number 11, we've got the 42 peeling off into pit lane. We'll deal with that later. Taylor Orridge leads, and he'll come into shot now. There he is, out of Wilkins for the final time, pursued by Isling Patel and Min Spearing. Taylor Orridge wins the Shenington SuperPrix E-plate. Lewis Isling and Mayan Patel will join him on the podium, and also at the Iame World Finals as well. Results provisional, of course, but as it stands, Taylor Orridge wins the Shenington E-plate here at the SuperPrix, and he'll go to the Iame World Finals with Lewis Isling and Mayan Patel, as well as they pick up tickets for the event. Handshakes all round for the top 3 and the top 4, in fact, down in the holding area. So final, that's the penultimate race then out of the way, and we are going to head towards our final race of the day here at Shenington. It's Senior X30. Another replay and 3 more tickets to the Iame World Finals up for grabs. Gus Lawrence, double British champion, goes off pole position. Lewis Bird alongside Hadi Mamasi and Harvey Rofe alongside on each other on row number 2. Hayden Eldridge and Kian Geraghty will go off row number 3 with Rylan Ekberg and Ollie Rands on row 4. Aaron Brown and David McIntyre on row 5 in front of Alistair Creswell and Sam Lewis. Row 7 sees Freddie Housley and James Pashley with Connor McPollin and Harry Peers with Fred Green and Katie Ashman going off row 9. Ty Stansfield and Harry Maynard, Henry Gregory and Ollie Stilt with Kasper Pajecki and Dylan Brearley on row number 12. Then we've got Oliver Harris and Lucas Armstrong with Preta Jurowick and Charlie Morrison-Jones for the second time in the finals, going off P28. Daniel Archer and Reese Baines are on row number 15 in front of Archie Forber, Tristan Powell, Luca Mann and Natalia Dabek. That's your 34 runners as the final race of the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix makes its way out onto the circuit here. Few drivers slightly out of position for me in this final due to incidents yesterday. Keep an eye out for me, the 43 of Ollie Stilt. He had to retire from the first heat yesterday, so he's out of position. 51 of Fred Green seems to be a little bit deeper into the field than where we would normally find him as well. So, everybody into position. The Historics have all gone home after their demonstration earlier on. They were on that field behind. Pace is quick for this one. Interesting to see whether we get going at the first time of asking. We do get going at the first time of asking, and Gus Lawrence will lead us round the first corner from Lewis Bird. The front row on the grid are the top 2 on track as they head up towards Stratford. We've got driver off on the outside, look like it could be Ollie Rands running wide in the 27. Luckily here, if you go wide, there's just some slightly less grippier tarmac, no grass to an extent, with the exception of the exit of this corner. Oh, driver up and into the air. 93 is Harry Maynard. If you want to fly, Harry, there's a glider club just next door. Get yourself over there. He's back on 4 wheels though and heading in the right direction. Gus Lawrence then leads us over the line for the first time from Lewis Bird and Hayden Mamasi. Kian Geraghty is wide. Goes Rylan Ekberg at the first corner. Katie Ashman with a contact warning. Hayden Eldridge is 5th, and it's Harry Rofe. Rylan Ekberg with the 18 of Alistair Creswell in front of Aaron Brown and Ollie Rands. Henry Gregory up into 11th place in this Senior X30 final. Having started well down the order in P21, we've got drivers round and Beach up on the curb. Here's Henry Gregory, the aforementioned. He went from 21st to 11th. And then went to his rear wheels not being connected to the tarmac. At the front, Gus Lawrence and Lewis Bird are leading us away from Kian Geraghty, who is now up into 3rd place. A couple of overtakes for Geraghty on the previous lap. Started in P6, now up into 3rd place with Hayden Mamasi just behind. Hayden Eldridge and Alistair Creswell. The contact warning, I think, for Ollie Rands in the 27. As we get the confirmation on the screen as well, I think we'll get another one in a few moments for the 44 of Hayden Mamasi. That'll be shown on the start-finish for them, but it's definitely being relayed to us here in the commentary box and on live.alphatiming.co.uk/SKRC. 36, Harvey Rolfe on the back of Alistair Creswell. Creswell himself finds a way past Hayden Eldridge. at Bruno. Kasper Pajecki gets a contact warning in the 99 machine, currently running in P21. Round Cafe once again for Eldridge, Rolf, Creswell, Brown, all running fairly close. Down the inside goes the 36 of Harvey Rope on Hayden Eldridge. Eldridge back now into a Tim Wilson Motorsport sandwich. McIntyre, David McIntyre out in 24th place. Also picks up a contact warning. It's frantic in the middle of this senior X30 pack here at Shenington. As it moves further down, looks like we've got Alistair Creswell falling down the order. Don't know if he's off or it's another transponder issue for Creswell. We'll find out in a few moments. See if he gets reinserted anywhere. Cian Geraghty in third place, the final driver heading towards the Iame World Finals. All three of them now in the same shot. Cian Geraghty closing in the 10th on the previous lap on the two in front, and another 2/10 this time. The driver in the white and the luminous yellow kart, Cian Geraghty. There's your confirmation, 41.93 for Geraghty. As it stands, picking up a ticket to the Iame World Finals, but I'm sure he would quite like a SuperPrix adding to the CV for Cian Geraghty. Lawrence sweeps to the inside, but not at the inside enough, and Lewis Bird goes down the inside, up at Wilkins, and Bird now leads as they come back into sight. Over start finish, and Lewis Bird for the first time in this final will lead us round the Shenington circuit in front of Gus Lawrence and a charging Cian Geraghty. Geraghty trying to go all the way around the outside of Gus Lawrence, almost had it done as well. Was alongside and maybe even further in front, the top three. With Harvey Rofe now up into fourth place. Found a way through on Hayden Mimasi on the previous lap, and it's only 1.5 seconds off the back of this. And there's every opportunity that Harvey Rofe could come into this, because Lewis Bird is on the defence from Gus Lawrence, and who can blame him? Lawrence, the reigning and defending British champion, having won it for the first time in succession for him in 2022, followed it up with a win in 2023 for Gus Lawrence, so double champion at the moment, currently going for his third, sitting second in the X30 Championship at the moment. He'll be back here next weekend for the British round. Once again, you have to watch it on Alpha Live as he almost watches Cian Geraghty go down the inside of him into Park Bend. That'll give Lewis Bird a few corners of respite. Let's see whether he defends it. He doesn't. He knows he's got a few corners at least, but then Lawrence later on the brakes closes right back up again. He's now going to be pushed down that back straight to an extent by Cian Geraghty. Behind them though, as expected, Harvey Rofe, Alistair Creswell, who has indeed been reinserted back up the timing after it failed to pick up earlier on and dropped him all the way down the order. Unjustly, of course. He's currently running in P5 in front of Hayden Mimasi. There's the two of them behind, the two TWM karts of Rofe and Creswell. Will they work with each other to close up on the back here as down the inside of Gus Lawrence goes Cian Geraghty for second place? Has Geraghty got the pace to close up on Lewis Bird? With a quarter of a second at the timing line, but then he put that overtake in on Gus Lawrence as well. Let's see what happens. We've still got 3.5 minutes to go, which is a lot of laps when you're doing 142s. I'm doing 42-second laps, so Bird from Geraghty and Lawrence. Then it's Creswell and Rowe who swapped round earlier on. Contact for Oliver Harris, the 63 machine. Creswell and Rowe pushing on, trying to close up on the back as they enter the Bruno chicane. They're taking nibbles out of all of the karts in front of him. Creswell took 4/10 on the previous lap. He's going to be there or thereabouts at the end of this race. Guarantee it. Bird with a look to his right. Cian Geraghty closing in again, but they have to be very, very mindful as Geraghty goes for a nibble down the inside. That's going to slow both him and Bird. It's going to allow Lawrence to close up. It's going to allow Creswell and Rove to close up as well. And down the inside of Lewis Bird goes Cian Geraghty into Stratford, and he's through. Gus Lawrence is back up into second place as well. Geraghty leads from Gus Lawrence. Lewis Bird, who's led the last few laps, is down into third. Creswell and Rove are right on the back. And we are going to be 5 karts battling it out for the E-plate here at the Shenington SuperPrix and the top 3 places and tickets to the Iame World Finals. Minute and 46, 4 laps to go in this Shenington SuperPrix final. Geraghty to the inside, Lawrence goes wide, needs to be mindful that Bird might stick a nose down the inside. Mechanical flag for the 99 of Kasper Pajecki. He's going to be out of this race. We'll try and keep an eye out as to what the problem may well be, but I'll put a bit of money on it being a rear bumper issue. As he comes in, and I'd lost my money because I don't think he's still got his rear bumper attached. Don't think he's got a chain guard though. Cian Geraghty leads from Gus Lawrence. The clock goes down to just below a minute, but they're round and they'll get round again. 3 more times for the final race of the day here. Cian Geraghty, Gus Lawrence behind them down the inside. Goes Alistair Creswell on Lewis Bird. Bird drops back into 4th place. Creswell into that final podium place, the final ticket position for Alistair Creswell. Geraghty under pressure, as you'd expect from Gus Lawrence. Cian Geraghty in the 37. Look over the shoulder. We're down to 2. Hayden Massey's getting back into things, and Rove's on the grass in the background. You just didn't see it, but you just saw the grass appear in the background as Harvey Rove takes to the grass. Hayden Massey in the 44 there in the white and turquoise kart. We're 3 wide. Contact! And it's round goes Harvey Rove, and the 46 of Aaron Brown's involved as well. Back to the front, Cian Geraghty from Gus Lawrence and Alistair Creswell, Lewis Bird as well. The overhead gantry awaits. It will say last lap for Cian Geraghty. Round Park, up into Cafe Corner. Creswell has a nibble at Lawrence, but then falls back into line. Lewis Bird's not going to be close enough, I don't think, to make a move. So they head up. Geraghty defending to the inside. That's going to allow Lawrence to have a little bit of a switchback. Lawrence doesn't have enough to draw alongside, but he's a lot closer than what he was on the way in. And he's going to be helped round as well by Alistair Creswell. Lewis Bird ready to pick up some pieces in P4. Lawrence is going to try the sweeping move to the inside. Door is firmly closed by Cian Geraghty, who exits Wilkins to take the checkered flag, the Shenington SuperPrix, and a ticket to the Iame World Finals in front of Gus Lawrence and Alistair Creswell. That's your top 3. Provisionally, that's your podium in front of Lewis Bird, Hayden Massey and Hayden Eldridge, with Sam Lewis, Fred Green, Aaron Brown and Ollie Rands completing your top 10 in Senior X30. Harry Pearce, James Pashley, Connor McCollin and Ollie Stilp in front of Freddie Housley, David McIntyre and Petwet Zurich in 17th. Harvey Roth, after the incident not towards the end, finishes in P18. Dylan Brearley and Katie Ashman round out your top 20 here at Shenington. It's been a superb day for the Shenington SuperPrix. That's the view that you want. You want to be flying over a kart track with a parachute attached to you to watch all of the action. It's been a superb race. It's been race weekend here at Shenington from Friday through Saturday and Sunday. We've seen the historics. We've seen some superb racing throughout all of our classes, from our youngsters in cadets through to our seniors who've just rounded out the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix. Thank you once again to our sponsors from Vega, from Kartsim, from Red Bull, from TWM, JDR, M Sport, Iame, Jag Engineering, from TCR UK, and everybody that's contributed to this superb weekend. The marshals out on track, the medical team when we've needed them, everybody getting karts in and then karts back out on track really quickly has been superb. It's helped keep the meeting run nice and smoothly here at Shenington. We've finished pretty much on schedule, which for kart meetings you don't often have. There's always hiccups in between that always pushes the schedule out, but the team here at Shenington have put on a superb show. Everybody that I've spoke to all weekend have said how much they've enjoyed this race weekend. I've enjoyed my trip to Shenington. I hope you've enjoyed spending your Sunday with me. Next week on the Alpha Live channel, we're back here at Shenington for the Iame British round. So if you've enjoyed the day racing here at Shenington, then there's plenty more on the Alpha Live channel for you coming up in the next few weeks, including Kartmasters British Grand Prix. I have been David Sullivan. It's been an absolute pleasure lending my voice to the 2024 Shenington SuperPrix. Until we meet again on Alpha Live, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.